Today's guest is a published photographer, traveller, and now Perth Corporate Rumble fighter. Alex chats about growing up in Zimbabwe, working for Rio Tinto, footy, cricket, the UFC, and his love of 90s music. Special thanks to Gobsmacked, Sports Mouthguards, and Cablewise, major sponsors of the PCR. So please welcome Alex von Kalckstein.
Yep.
Just trying to think, you're Darlington.
Yeah, Darlington Bushfire Brigade.
Jesus, when the fires come through there, mate, that is no joke.
Yeah, the hills are notorious for the bushfires, so summertime's definitely a concerning time for residents of the hills in general, or Perth in general.
Do you live up that way?
Yeah, I live in Bushmead, so it's one of the new estates. So just at the bottom of the foothills. I don't know if you know Helena Valley. I hate to say Midland, but it's within. When people say, where the hell is Bushmead? You say, oh,
Midland?
Yeah. And they're like, oh, Midland. It's still 10 minutes away from Midland. I like to say Calamundo or Helena Valley.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. When we first moved over from Zimbabwe, I sort of grew up around. There was two places I grew around. So my mum lived in Hillary's and my dad lived in Helena Valley. So Helena Valley is the neighbouring estate of Bushmead. Yeah. And I always knew growing up I sort of wanted to build in that area. It's a beautiful bush reserve. And
where was your dad?
My dad was Helena Valley.
Oh, sorry. And was your mum?
My mum was in Hillary's.
Hillary's?
Yeah.
That's a bit of a contrast.
It was, yeah. So I was
didn't like the beach?
I love the beach. Yeah. Yeah. I plan on moving back one day. Definitely bought my house as an investment. I built my house as an investment, and then eventually I'll look to move back towards the coast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quite a few of the guys that have come in here have lived, along the coast. So a lot north. A lot of people are travelling north to training. It's a fair drive. Even from Bushmead to Booragoon's a bit of a drive.
Yeah, it's about a 45-minute drive.
You've missed the first few weeks.
I have, because I work FIFO.
Tell me about your FIFO work. Rio Tinto?
Yes, I work for Rio Tinto.
Yeah.
Mechanical fitter, and then do part-time emergency services.
Tell me about the emergency services, mate.
Yeah, it's something I've always enjoyed.
Mm.
Rio are really good. They invest a lot of money into our training, so we train with DFS, so we train with fire brigades. How
do you find those guys?
They're crazy, man.
Bunch of dicks.
Fireys are a different breed.
Here's a photo of you. Hang on, I got your first photo. You sent it through to me.
Yeah.
What are you setting fire to there? Where's that?
So that's just a burn off of spin effects. So we're doing a bit of a training day. That's why I actually have my back turned to a fire. You'd never in a real life scenario obviously have your back turned to a fire like that. But because it was a burn off, we're just doing some training. I thought, why not have a chance to take a sneaky photo and post something to my socials.
I like that branch management over the shoulder as well, mate.
Yeah.
Is that something you want to end up maybe doing, getting in the fire brigade?
Down the track eventually. At the moment, I'm doing volunteer bushfire brigade with Darlington. So that's something I enjoy. The training's been awesome. Amazing group of guys and girls down there. It's just good to see the community invest their time into training and, protecting the community.
I got a lot of time for the volleys. In all seriousness, they do a great job. And I think when you do see a volley at one of these fires, they treat it different because it's their house. It's almost like their backyard. They seem to just have that little bit extra spring in the step to get out there and do it.
Yeah.
And they love it. And this is what I remind a lot of people, they do it for free.
That's it, yeah. A lot of people are giving up their free time, coming in on Saturdays, Sundays. So, yeah, got a lot of respect for the volleys. I've only been doing it for about 6 or 7 months. I've been emergency services with Rio for the past few years. So I thought moving to Bushmead, building my house there, being right next to the foothills of the hills, I thought it was a perfect time to join up the volleys and give time back to the community.
Have you got a bit of land there? Like how big are we talking?
I've got a tiny little block. It's actually a townhouse, so I bought it as an investment property, and then I'll look to move back to the coast in the next few years.
That's good. That's good work. Sorry, with the volleys. And you guys, because I think I did I see something about this is going to be the worst bushfire season? I know we get that most years, but worst bushfire season in 50 years or something.
I think they say that most years, but you can never predict them. Fires are just it's just a different ball game.
Yeah. I think with one, it's normally if there's one big one that's considered, there's a risk. There's always going to be bushfires every year. But that one big one that just is total destruction, and they'll consider it a bad fire season. So I think, have you seen any of the ones I've had here previously? Like any of the bad ones? I think we had Warraloo a couple of years ago. Remember that one that went through Yarloop down south? Remember that?
That was horrible.
Jesus.
Yeah, I remember
that. It was massive.
That would have been about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe a little bit more.
I think, hang on, I went down there for a wedding about 2 days after. No, I'm pretty sure it was about 6 years ago.
Oh, wow.
It's a while back.
Yeah.
And Rolling Stone before that.
Yeah.
Geez, so many.
Yeah.
Those hills. Anyway, stay safe, everyone. Put your fire breaks in. Refer to the DFAS website for all your information. Get on top of it. Good on you, DFAS. Oh, okay. Let's go back to Zimbabwe. What was it like? Did Zimbabwe used to be called something else?
It was called Rhodesia up until 1989.
Okay.
And then they changed the name to Zimbabwe.
A lot of people still refer to it as Rhodesia.
Yeah.
Why is that?
A lot of the old school Zimbabweans or Rhodesians still like to say, I come from Rhodesia, not Zimbabwe, and people are like, Rhodesia?
Where the hell is that?
Yeah.
I thought it was Rhodesia. I just didn't want to say it in case it sounded silly.
Yeah.
So why did they change the name?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you. I'll have to do a bit of research. I should know from Zimbabwe.
Geography.
Well, I was
Jeez,
born into Zimbabwe, so 92, so 3 years after they changed the name, so it's always been Zimbabwe to me.
Okay. And you left there, how old were you, 12?
I was 12 years old, yeah.
What was it like growing up there?
It was a great place to grow up. We spent a lot of time fishing, and I was a mad fisherman when I was younger.
Yeah.
That sort of passion's been left behind and in place of other things now, but it was a great life growing up, going on safari parks, and we had a great life.
How do you find the way that I guess media report on places like South Africa and Zimbabwe? The difference between what they report and reality, because this is just from what I see. I shouldn't watch the news, but I do watch a little bit. It seems like it's a dangerous place to live. But everyone I've spoken to, whether it be South African or from Zimbabwe or from, I know a guy from Malawi.
Yeah.
Malawi, it's just a bit north of it. Is that right?
Yeah.
He said it's cherry ripe. There's no dramas whatsoever. The media are just making out it's like a real dangerous place to go.
Yeah. So don't get me wrong. There are some really dangerous places to go within Southern Africa.
It's just like Midland.
Yeah, just like Midland. Yeah, if I can survive Zimbabwe, I can survive a day in Midland. So, Johannesburg is one place I'd probably advise people most caution. Yep. There is some parts of Johannesburg you do really have to be on your guard. Bulawayo, I wouldn't say it's safe, but it is a fairly safe city to go to. It is a beautiful little town. Well, I wouldn't even classify it as a city, really, more so a town. Smallish population. Fairly safe. But parts of South Africa I would definitely be very careful of. I know a lot of my friends want to go and see South Africa and Cape Town, and I advise them. It's so beautiful. Stunning place to see.
That's from what I hear, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a beautiful coastal city. It's got everything. I could just about move there.
Really?
Yeah. I love Australia. I don't think I could leave Australia. This is the land of the opportunity.
Never been to South Africa, but I've heard nothing but good things.
Yeah, it's great.
They got some big sports stars coming out there as well lately. They got a UFC fighter, Drakus. How good is he?
Yeah, he's
big
great.
fan of Drakus.
Yeah.
I was trying to pretend I wasn't. See the UFC belt down there?
Oh, you have to show me.
One of the old school ones. I've only showed every single person that's come in here. This is sort of what your boxing belt's like, but feel the weight in that thing.
Oh, wow.
I know.
That's heavy.
That's impressive. You want to try it on, just in case you ever do win it? Oh, look at
Over
that.
the shoulder.
You could just chuck that on the
Get
ground.
used to this.
That's the old one. I do like the new one as well, but that was the old one. The guy that bought that off, I'm not sure I'm going to include this. The guy bought it off. I do feel bad because I wanted a UFC belt for a while, and the guy that was selling it, so I got my brother to go pick it up because it was down near his house. I said, can you go pick this up? My brother goes, yeah, no dramas. I said, can you just suss the guy out because it was very, very cheap, which I know they're not cheap. I said, can you suss the guy out because if it's hot, I don't want it. I don't ever touch any stolen goods or anything. So I said, if it's not right, just let it go. Just don't take it. And he picked it up and he goes, yeah, it's fine. I said, you got to tell me. I'm fascinated. What was this guy like? And he goes, oh, he's a real old guy. And I said, like, how old? And he goes, oh, about 80.
Yeah.
I said, what the hell's an 80-year-old doing with the UFC belt? He goes, oh, his son is overseas and he's run a bit short on cash. So his son has gone, I know, go through the room and pick out certain things and sell them and send me the cash. I know. And I've just gone, oh, shit. So he's gone there saying, oh, here's a shiny belt. I'll see what I can get for that. And sold it way too cheap. So I don't want to. I'm not going to mention the person's name because people will try to hit me up. But if this person, if you live around the, if you live around the Melville area, that's all I'm going to say. And you had a UFC belt, and your dad sold it while you were, I don't know,
it'd be
Bali or Thailand or somewhere. I will sell it back to you at the same price I bought it for. I've got to be fair. It will break my heart, but you got to do the righty. You got to do the righty.
I'd be absolutely livid.
Oh,
I don't think I could ever forgive my dad.
Because you can't get them anymore. Or you can, but they cost a fortune. What are we even talking about? And there's my other blow-up belt. How good's that? That's a tipping belt. That's where we got a big tipping competition. That's glorious.
So you won, obviously?
Nah, I'm getting thrashed. No, it's a weekly belt. See, I'm way behind. The other two guys on that list are the two other commentators for the PCR evening.
Oh, yeah.
Bunch of clowns, those two. Well, I can't even remember what we were talking about. We're talking about South Africa. So your knowledge, after I've just gone off on that tangent, what's your knowledge of Africa like?
I would like to say it's pretty good. I am going to Kenya later on this year for a photography trip.
Really?
Yeah, which I'm looking forward to.
I was there during... This is 95. I was there.
Oh,
I know, but it was still Zaire.
Yeah.
Back then, that was before it was the Democratic Republic of Congo. Now, I believe that's what it's called. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. So the one that's on Uganda border.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was rough as hell back in the 90s, and I can't even remember what I was going to say then. Anyway, Kenya. I was in Kenya, and they had that rally go through. Remember the rally?
The rally.
Do they still do the rally?
I'm not too sure.
The rally cars?
Oh, I'm not too sure.
Sure they do that. I'm pretty sure they do that around mid-year. Anyway, point is we were there, and I never realised how close the cars got to the people. You know how people, those rally cars with hanging the arse of it? And we were near the finish line. Anyhow, we were there, or like the stage line. We were there, and then all these people were crowding around the car. And what's happened, and this is brutal, and I'm sorry to the guy this happened to, the gap where the windscreen meets the A-pillar, I think it's called, in there were 2 fingers in there.
Oh.
So some guy has gone, because I think it's a big thing, you got to touch the car when it goes past. It's taken 2 guys' fingers.
Nasty.
That was my memory of Kenya.
I went to my first Formula 1 last year in Singapore for the night race, which is actually coming up. It's going to be their next race.
Did someone have some photos taken with Daniel Ricciardo?
Yeah,
look at that. I should know more about F1. Who's this guy?
So that's Lando Norris. He's still with McLaren at the moment. Danny Rick's been swapped out for AlphaTauri.
Danny Rick. Is he still racing?
He is, but unfortunately he just sustained a pretty nasty wrist break in a practice race. So he's currently out, and there's a new Kiwi guy named Liam Lawson who's actually doing really well. So Oscar Piastri, another Australian guy, has taken place for Danny Rick.
Yeah.
I think he's about 21 or 22. He's been killing it. He's been doing so well.
Oh, good on him.
Yeah, he's a great rookie. They reckon he's the best rookie since Lewis Hamilton. So that's huge for us.
And where's he from? He's from Australia, but whereabouts?
I believe he's from Melbourne.
Okay.
Yeah. He seems like a really grounded kid, and he's going to go far in the sport.
There is so much money in Formula 1, isn't there?
Oh, there is.
It is ridiculous.
So, that was my first Formula 1 experience, and I don't think I can ever top that again.
In Singapore?
In Singapore, yeah. So my best mate and I managed to get into the grid, the VIP section.
How did you do that?
My cousin actually sorted us out, so he's been working for the Formula
old
1.
handshake with the cash in to the security. We know how it works.
We actually met quite a few celebrities. We met Green Day, which were one of my favourite bands growing up, and
Billy Joe Armstrong.
Yeah, we had a chat to them. They were really nice. They made time for us. They were. I think I've actually got a picture.
Let's have a look here.
Oh, did I add it in there? Yeah, I thought I added it.
There we go.
Yeah, so they're looking a bit weathered these days. If you scroll into their faces, you'll see.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh, is that Billy Joe Armstrong?
That's Billy. Yeah, he's
holy dooly.
Yeah, and then if you look at Trey Cool to the right, he's I don't know what was going on there. He didn't look too impressed with me.
Jesus, is there anything sadder than seeing your favourite musician get old? There's nothing sadder. It breaks my heart.
You just remember them as, like when I look at Nirvana, for example, I look at Dave Grohl as that young Nirvana drummer.
Yeah, and look at him now.
Yeah, he's getting old.
Those guys, they've
still shreds.
Oh, still incredible.
Still
incredible
one
talent.
of the greatest of all time.
But yeah, I saw that. I actually couldn't work out who they are, but yeah, geez, they are.
They're getting on.
They are getting on. It's funny, isn't it? Because you don't look at yourself like that, but people must see you and go, geez, people see me. Geez, Brad, you've seen some shit in your day. You're looking old.
But just the fact that they made time for us and to have a chat just, made our experience so much better.
Good on you, Green Day.
Yeah.
If you ever want to come in here for a chat, Billy Joe, feel free to hit me up. You're a fan of the AFL, I see.
Massive fan.
Which team?
Oh, I hate to say it, but West Coast.
There's nothing wrong with West Coast.
We've just had a shocking season. We'll be back.
They're never down for long, are they?
No.
They're the kind of team that, get the wooden spoon one year and then top 8 the next year.
Yeah, we've lost a few of the greats. Shannon Hearn, Luke Shuey, Nick Nat. It's been a rough year, but...
Two of those are great. One's not. I'm not a fan of, but he knows why. Yeah. We got personal issue between us two, but I'm not going to say. Yeah. He gave me some sass one day. Did you get any girls' footy?
Not so much, but I have watched a little bit in the past season or so, and
they're
they've
coming
improved
good.
So much.
I watched the West Coast against Dockers yesterday. A couple of young ladies that I know play for the West Coast. They're Emma Swanson and Evie Gooch. Evie was crook, so she couldn't play. But where they are now to 2 years ago is a world of difference.
Oh, massive difference.
World. Do you remember when they first started?
Oh.
I wanted them to be good. And I was like, please be good. And they played and I went, oh, no.
It was hard to watch.
It was
I got to admit.
Brutal.
But now there's a lot of talent.
Good on them.
They're playing well.
Would you, if you owned an AFL club, because these girls obviously don't get paid as much, which we're not getting into a pay dispute here because that's just not going to end well for anyone. But would you, if you're an AFL team, say the West Coast, you go, all right, we're flush with cash. We are going to pay these girls enough. But is there a salary cap? There must be a salary cap.
There must be.
Must be something. I don't know. Or just do it under the table like they used to. But anyway, say we're going to invest in these girls to do this full time. So this is their only job. And you can imagine how good they'll get in 12 months if this was their only job. They didn't have a second job. They go to every trainings. They got all the same treatment as the guys. Think about how good they would be. And you could start like a tradition and have just the most dominant team. Like imagine you do it now and you go, we had clearly the most dominant women AFLW team of the 2020s. Like win 4 premierships, just absolutely dominate and then live off that forever. That's what I'd do.
Yeah, definitely. You see a lot of these girls, some of them are working full-time and training and some of them have multiple jobs.
Mm.
Yeah, so I actually went to school with a girl that played AFLW.
Who's that?
Her name was Jacinta Barclay. She sadly passed away a couple of years ago. She unfortunately took her own life. But an extremely talented sportswoman. She played footy over here. She played baseball in America, gridiron in America. She played multiple sports. She was, I remember her from the school days. She was like taking full-size guys out in tackles.
Is she a Kiwi girl? Or she had Kiwi parents?
She had Kiwi parents, I believe, yeah.
Played for the Swannies here in Perth.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at there. Baseball, American football. Gee, she did it all.
Yeah, she did everything.
That was 3 years ago, mate.
3 years, wow.
Oh, just shy of 3 years ago. Jesus, that's gone quick.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brutal. That's heartbreaking. That poor girl.
Extreme talent. It's sad to see.
You're a UFC fan as well.
Yeah, massive
Isn't
UFC
everyone a UFC fan?
I feel like now people are. A couple of years ago, they weren't so much. Yeah,
Everyone's
definitely bandwagon.
jumping on that bandwagon.
Yeah.
Have you been to any of the events here in Perth?
No, I unfortunately missed out on tickets. I was willing to pay up to $1,000. I was messaging people the night before.
Really?
Yeah, I really wanted to go. And then, you know Hasbulla? Little Hasbulla.
Jesus. Someone needs to kick that guy.
So I was going to, because I thought I was going to be able to get a ticket, I thought I'd be able to secure one for $1,000, but no one would even sell me a ticket for $1,000. So my second best option was watching Hasbulla's live stream on Instagram. When the Alex Volkanovski fight came up.
Yeah,
I thought he was a bit robbed. But Islam is good, don't get me wrong.
He is good. He's going to lose to Charles Oliveira.
I think so.
Guaranteed. Write that down, people. If you want to get on my multi, go ahead. This is a tip for if the UFC ever comes back to Perth, okay? Because this has happened, and it's happened twice, is that start time's normally about 5 a.m.,
yeah,
like the early prelims. It's normally a pay-per-view. The early prelims go about 5 a.m. If you think about it, what would you do? Would you go out the night before and charge into the morning? Or would you, because it's a Sunday morning, or would you say, sorry guys, I'm going to bed at 8 o'clock on Saturday and getting up at 4 and getting there?
Well, I never thought about charging on from the night before, but I do have a funny story, actually.
It's not the Perth Corporate Rumble where they charge, like Mason from last time, charged into like Wednesday.
So a good friend of mine that I work with, James Arnold.
James.
So he went to the UFC. I think they started drinking around 6 o'clock in the morning. And then once the UFC finished up, I think he went and hit the pub for a few hours. And that night, I'm a massive Red Hot Chili Peppers fan.
They were that night.
So that was the same night. So there was so much going on in Perth that weekend. Yeah. So we went and saw the Chili Peppers. But he'd been drinking for like 14, 15 hours straight, and he somehow held it together.
Oh, we know how he held it together.
He's the only guy of his size.
We know how guys
I did see him going off to the toilet a few times. He must have really needed to go.
Oh, geez, keep going.
But yeah, the Chili Peppers. We unfortunately missed out on the UFC, but managed to get to see the Chili Peppers.
Were they good?
Oh, they were amazing. Favorite band of all time.
Of all time?
All time.
All time. That's a big call.
It's a massive call, but since I was a kid, I've been listening to the
You
Chili
were born
Peppers.
in 92?
92.
So you weren't... I was talking to Justin Abernathy about this, and I'm sure I'm going to talk to him again about it on Friday because he's messaged me 1,000 times. So you were like obviously under 10 in the 90s. The glory days.
The glory days.
The greatest period of music of all time.
Yep, 80s and 90s.
Did your parents expose you to that music?
Yeah, so my dad bought me the By the Way CD when it came out. I believe it came out in 2002. I was listening to the
single or the album?
The album.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I just remember listening to that album on repeat back in the CD days, on repeat non-stop. So I've always loved their music since I was a kid.
Do you read books?
Not so much, but I do actually have...
Scar Tissue?
I do have it.
How was it? I started it and then I don't know what happened. I haven't got back into it. It's good?
Sounds terrible, but I've never actually finished it. I've never been much of a book guy. I prefer to watch documentaries, but I love Anthony Kiedis. He's come out of some dark times in his life.
If someone's got Scar Tissue on audio book, just send it to me, okay? I think that's
and then forward it to me.
A legal copy, of course. Definitely don't download legally. Download legally. Pearl Jam or Nirvana?
Oh, Nirvana.
Really?
Nirvana.
Do you think Nirvana... Dave Grohl is a gift to the human race, by the way. But do you think Nirvana would still be considered that great if the situation was different with Mr. Kurt Cobain?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you think they were that good?
I think so.
I'm going to show you something, actually, only just because I saw it the other day. Let me just stand up for 1 sec. Look what I found.
Oh, no way. Unplugged. How did you get that?
Someone was throwing out a box of cassettes, and it's in there.
Who even throws that away?
Look at that. Do you remember back... I haven't even opened this. Oh, look at that.
Oh, my God.
I know. This is MTV Unplugged Nirvana. How good is that?
Wow.
I've got the About a Girl single as well. I think they only released about 600 of them.
No way.
I think, yeah. It's just I don't know. I used to buy as you can see, I buy just random crap here. As you can see across, I'll put most of it away. Most of the crap's up there.
Yeah.
Got 2 more belts up there as well.
Oh, you'll have to show me these after.
Yeah, I was Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam over in Nirvana.
Yeah. Always. I don't know. Just Eddie Vedder's another one that I've seen him lately and getting old and a break. I mean, he can still sing.
Have you seen their Unplugged?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was. Why don't they do that anymore?
I know. I wish they did.
They went on that tear where they did.
You know why they don't do it anymore?
Tell me why.
It's because they don't have the talent. They don't have these talented bands making music like they used to. Obviously, you still got the Foo Fighters around. Pearl Jam's obviously still around, but their old stuff, you can't beat it.
Are there any really great bands around anymore, or are they just? Is it everything just this R&B? God knows what this is. This is just old man Brad talking now, but it's a different type of music.
Yeah, I hear some of this mumble rap, and
geez.
I'm just like, what is going? Where has music gone to?
They went on this streak of Unplugged, and they had Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Stone Temple Pilots. Remember Live? They had them.
I think I know the one song.
Yeah, they were. I thought they were great. They had some problems towards the end, but and then they just stopped doing it. I think VHS did one called Storytellers as well.
Yeah,
they just don't do that anymore.
Yeah,
such a shame.
Unfortunately, a lot of these great singers just passed away. Like I know the guy from Stone Temple Pilots.
Scott Weiland.
He
had some dramas towards the end.
Yeah.
His last performance was on YouTube. It's one of the saddest things I think I've ever seen.
I'll have to check it out.
He's
but yeah, such talent. I love that song Plush.
Oh yeah, I think that's he sang the Vaseline. There's a song Vaseline. We'll cut this out because it is worth a look.
Jesus. So it wasn't that long ago he actually died. Oh wow. He's in a different world.
He is in trouble, isn't he?
Yeah, wow.
That's a sad day. And yeah, then we lost Chris Cornell.
We lost Chris Cornell, one of the greatest.
The greatest.
I was actually listening to Black Hole Sun on the way here.
Did you ever hear Temple of the Dog, the album they did?
I'm sure I've heard some of the songs, but
Pearl Jam and Soundgarden did an album. Just one
what
album.
A collab.
I know.
How have I not heard of this?
Yeah, haven't heard Hunger Strike? Oh my God. Let's go on this. They did it for, I believe it's for Andrew Wood, the lead singer of Mother Love Bone. It's a cracker. You haven't heard this?
I've heard this song.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course. Oh, he's such an amazing voice.
And Eddie comes in.
Oh, Eddie. Wow. That has to be one of the greatest collabs of all time.
Of all time. And then you see them all on the beach. Obviously didn't spend much money on the video. But
I think the budget must have been pretty small, but wow, how have I only just heard about this?
Mate, you got McCready, you got Jeff Ament, you got Stone Gossard. I think Cameron's on the drums.
Yeah.
It's pretty much Pearl Jam with Chris Cornell in it. Oh, it's one of the greatest. One of the greatest. Oh, such a shame. It's such a shame. Will it ever go back? Do you reckon?
Oh, I don't know.
That'd be so good if it did.
I don't think you can beat the 80s and 90s in terms of the music eras.
I was actually having a conversation at work about this the other day, which I was curious. Musicians, when you think of a musician, what age group? Like if you talk about when everyone in the top 40, what kind of age do you reckon they are? Give me an age range.
Early 20s.
Yep, that's it. Why does everyone stop at about 30? Why do all the bands break up? Like all the greats, like like bands like Powderfinger and I mean, Pearl Jam still do tour, but they don't release albums anymore. Why does everyone finish at about 30?
I don't know.
Can you imagine the amount of music that could have been made in a completely different frame of mind by these guys?
I know.
If they did that shit at 20 when they
And that's when most of them were like smashing drugs and
yeah.
Imagine the kind of music that would come out now.
When they've just got they're worldly, when they've got the experience, when they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Imagine that. It's such a shame that we lose all these bands at about 30. I don't know. Maybe it is the drug use that does it. Think about Elton John. Elton John, under the influence, Elton John made some of the greatest hits of all time.
That is true.
Sober Elton John made some garbage. Some bands need to be under the influence.
Yeah.
They do. Maybe. The Beatles, didn't they write most? I never really got into the Beatles.
No.
I thought they were good, not great.
No, I never really got into them. I've always been 80s and 90s sort of era. I think
90s,
I sort of
good.
Grew up in the wrong times. I think I should have been an 80s kid.
Oh, yeah. Well, a lot of guys that I've spoken to in their 20s just seem to have this fascination now with the 90s. Well, I don't have a fascination with like the 60s and the 70s.
Yeah.
Maybe every once in a while there's a good song, but some of these bands. Oh, how good would it be? Because I haven't done this for years. How good would it be to just be hanging out for the release of a band's new album?
Oh,
Remember that? Remember when they say, October 1st is the new album coming out from these people?
People would go fucking nuts.
I know.
They'd line up for days.
Up. And then they'd just buy the album, not know anything's on it, and then just hope for the best.
Yeah.
Imagine doing that now. You can't do it now. We got access to so much now.
It just gets dropped on Spotify.
That's it.
Remember the LimeWire days?
How many computers?
I caused my parents some absolute heartache and some very expensive computer bills.
Is that why doesn't that happen? Because apparently, I'm not saying it does, but apparently illegal downloading still happens. Why doesn't it destroy your computer like LimeWire? That was the greatest. That was the greatest website for destroy. I reckon that was probably developed by an IT guy.
Oh, must have been.
Definitely someone who's, I will repair your computer.
And all these virus companies are just paying them.
Do we still get viruses?
Yeah.
I've been onto some pretty suspect websites in my day, and my computer's still hanging in there.
Yeah.
And I'm talking suspect.
Actually, just recently, about
legal.
2 or 3 months ago, I went online. I found this website, and it was like this levitating globe, and I love globes through traveling. And I bought this globe, and it was a pretty
like a world globe.
Yeah, world globe. So
but the world's flat, isn't it?
Oh no! I think I'll.
I'm joking.
Yeah, so I bought this levitating globe, and anyway,
awesome.
it sounded awesome. And,
levitating, what, magnets or something?
Yeah, it had like this magnet levitating globe. So anyway, I bought it, and it never rocked up. And all of a sudden, I started getting withdrawals out of my bank account for 200, 300.
Jesus.
And I didn't put 2 and 2 together, but this website I bought this globe off was dodgy. And they were just hacking away at my bank account. And,
really?
Yeah, they ended up stealing close to $1,000.
Did you get it back?
Yeah, I got it all back, but I really wanted to
give the bank a shout out, because my bank won't give me.
Shout out ANZ. I was just devastated because I really wanted the globe. But lesson learnt. I always thought I was pretty aware of scams and things like that, but
still get done. Imagine what kids are going to get done with.
Oh man,
like getting free Roblox. My kids come up to me, go, "Oh, Dad, can I go to this website? I get 10,000 free Roblox." Robux, whatever the hell it is. I said, firstly, get off my computer. No, I say, I don't understand any of this, but no one gives away anything for free. No.
If it's too good to be true, chances are it probably is. And it's so scary how easy it is to buy things off the internet these days. You hear these stories about kids like having their mother's phones, and then next thing they've bought a car online.
You a boxing fan as well?
Yeah.
Really?
Massively. I've actually brought this along with me.
Tell me, was that the greatest segue into your firstly, down here, you can see it on camera.
Oh, can
you? You can. Yeah, it's down
cool.
There. It's down there. Please pick that up. You might have to spin the mic so it doesn't hit it. Just lob it on the desk, maybe. Jesus, that looks heavy.
God, I made that look awkward.
Hang on, I'm going to spin this. Oh, you can see it beautifully there. So tell me, hang on, can you spin that mic? Tell me, you bend that thing up? Just reef it.
Just rip it.
Oh, yeah, that sounds a treat. There we go. Tell me, that's signed?
That's signed. So it came with a certificate of authenticity, so it's all legit. There's actually another framed picture I didn't bring along with me, but it's of Muhammad Ali signing this glove.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Signed in 2023. That's a bit suspect.
No.
I'm joking.
So the certificate...
On the back? Oh, Jesus. What are we doing, I reckon, here?
So it's at the back here. So it's signed on December 4th, 1998. So you can see it's legitimate.
Oh, yeah, let's have a look. I'm going to try to hang this in front of the camera. There we go. It's got like one of those, what are those things called that you move it, a hologram thing there, so it all looks legit. That's awesome. Everyone can tell my brick wall isn't actually real. It's just a backdrop there.
And it was the heavyweight title bout, so versus Sonny Liston.
Sonny Liston with the ghost punch.
Yeah, so you know that famous picture of Sonny Liston and
took a dive.
Yeah,
okay. No, not Sonny.
Bit controversial.
So, why did you bring that in today, mate? Tell me.
So on the night, I'm in chats with Glenn and Nigel at the moment. I'm looking to actually auction this off and donate the money towards charity.
Really? I was going to actually start getting back on topic to the PCR, but we've still got more to talk about. You're a cricket fan.
Massive cricket fan.
Of Australia?
Australia.
Really?
Yeah, so it is sad to see because Zimbabwe unfortunately don't have much of a team these days.
Yep.
And one of their greats actually recently passed away. Heath Strake, who was one of their fast bowlers.
Yeah.
Back in the time when Zimbabwe were a good team.
They, for the size of that country, they were getting up there. They were not I won't say a joke. They were never a joke, but they were not a competitive team.
No.
They came across here for the one-day series a few times.
And they beat Australia in one match.
It doesn't matter. We'll just live off that. Cricket now, though, how do you find cricket now to say back in the days of Glenn McGrath and Warney, and for me that was the golden age of cricket.
That was definitely the golden era.
When I could name every player.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you one player's name now. I really couldn't.
Really?
I know.
Do you watch a Big Bash?
No. I should. I should get back into. I think I'm that obsessed with the UFC now. That's all I watch.
So the Big Bash is a good sort of way to get to know the up and coming players.
That's a 2020?
Yeah, the 2020. So I think it's starting up in end of November.
Do you remember when that started?
Yeah, it was like 11, 12 years ago now.
I went to one of the first ever games at the Wacker with one of my mates, Steve Burrell. Steve Burrell, everyone. Shout out to Steve. And we went there, and it was very much a novelty, thinking 20 overs, how can this possibly work? And I'll admit now, I thought there is no way in hell this is just like a bit of a sideshow kind of thing. This won't come of anything. This will last a couple of years and everyone will go, no, I'm not into it. I couldn't be more wrong. It is so popular.
And there's so much money in it. Like the Indian Premier League. Guys are making millions of dollars for 6 weeks of playing cricket.
Don't they? Isn't there like a draft or something?
Yeah, there's like a auction. Some of these guys, like Tim David, for example, who hasn't really played a lot of cricket for Australia, extremely talented player, and he's gone for like millions of dollars. So you can never really predict who's going to go for a lot of money and who's not.
Is there salary caps there?
I believe so. I'm not too sure what the salary caps are, but I know they do have them.
And what is it, like an actual draft, like an NBA draft? Is that what they do?
Yeah, pretty similar, yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it is.
How do they keep a game of 40 overs exciting? That's what, I mean, it's very exciting, but there's also, it's not just people going the long handle from the first ball.
Yeah.
How do they, it just fascinates me, the fact that it works so well.
I think it's just the way some of these athletes are trained now, like these cricket players, they're just trained to smash sixes. And some of these guys, like Mitch Marsh, who's now the captain of Australia, who's just taken the series to a 3-0 lead in South Africa, the guy just smashes sixes like it's nothing. You know Mitch Marsh?
Yeah, I know Mitch Marsh.
The Bison, they call him.
I used to watch Jeff Marsh is his old man.
Yeah.
I used to watch Jeff Marsh open, him and David Boone. That's how long ago.
Yeah, wow. Old Booney. And then there's that story of Booney drinking 30. Is that Boone? Oh, no. Was that Merv Hughes or Booney?
No, Booney. 52 beers.
52 beers. That's right.
52 beers.
What a weapon.
There is footage of Booney at the press conference.
I've got to see this.
From what I hear, and this is from someone who may have possibly been in the media and was there, apparently he was wheelchaired.
Oh, my God. Wow.
How good's that? Andre the Giant, apparently, from when they were talking about sports, so I didn't think anyone could beat Booney, but Andre the Giant, remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently he holds the record for the most amount of beers consumed in like a trip. He had to drive across America, and I think it was 80. I should actually look this up. I think he drank 86 beers.
Wow.
And still got out and was fine.
It doesn't surprise me. The guy was huge.
Can you imagine the cost
of just keeping him alive, just feeding him in general?
Oh, it'd be like having a horse.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if he eats hay and just gruel. So getting back to the cricket, this is why it's changed. When it used to be the Benson and Hedges World Series.
Benson and Hedges, as in the cigarettes?
Yeah. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was back when that was when 3 teams used to come over and play. A winning total back then for 50 overs was, if you got over 200, you're a chance. About 210 was a winning score. Now, if you're not getting 300, you're not winning.
Yeah.
And what kind of scores are they getting in these 2020s?
The other night, Australia got, I think, 226 versus South Africa. And then the third game, South Africa got 191, which is definitely on par for a winning score.
Yeah.
Australia chased that down in like 16 overs with 4 overs to spare.
So averaging 10 and over for the entire game.
It's crazy that these guys can chase down 10 runs and over and with ease. And some of these guys, like their fielding abilities these days, some of the catches they're taking is just next level.
How did it get so good? Because they're not drinking beers afterwards. I think that their recovery must be the key. It must be their recovery.
It must be.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine Booney taking a screamer of a catch like they're doing now.
Because they used to be on the beers straight away afterwards.
Yeah.
So did the AFL players.
Yeah, the beers and the darts. I've seen quite a few pictures of old Warney taking like a 10-wicket haul and then smashing a few darts after the game.
That wasn't that long ago.
No.
Oh, when did smoking just stop? It seemed to stop all of a sudden.
Smoking stopped and then vaping started.
Oh, have you tried that?
I have. I won't lie. After a few cheeky drinks, I don't mind a cheeky hit on the vape, but I refuse to buy them.
How I had one. What the hell was it? I don't know. It was some fairy floss or something, and it was just odd. I didn't enjoy it, but I wasn't against it. I just went, it's just not a manly smell. I mean, the cigarette smell is not a manly smell. It's a horrible smell. But how vaping has taken off, it's madness. In the schools?
Oh, in the schools. I hear of like 13, 14-year-olds. I've gone on dates with teachers and they tell me all about these kids that are buying somehow finding vapes at the age of like 13, 14 and bring them to school. You're like,
have they got nicotine in them?
Yeah, they do.
Isn't that illegal to sell nicotine?
I believe so, yeah.
That must be dangerous because you can buy straight nicotine, obviously, and add it. But nicotine is so poisonous. Yeah. You put too much in that in there.
Yeah.
It's over.
They talk about this popcorn lung.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Have you seen pictures of that?
I have, yeah. It
doesn't look good.
That's enough to put you off ever picking up one of those things. But honestly, after a few cheeky beers, I will have a little puff.
Really?
Yeah. But then again, I haven't drank for like 3 months now.
Are you normally a drinker, beer drinker, or a...
I've always been a beer drinker. Yep. So earlier this year, I went to Norway, Iceland, and the Mentawais. And
I did see some photos.
Yeah, so I was drinking just about every night.
It's just the culture over there, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to actually go into some of your photos. I'm glad you mentioned this. You've got you're a budding photographer.
Yeah.
You are exceptional. I do like it.
Oh, thank you.
Only because I'm going there. This is the one I was going to ask you about. Only because I am going there in December this year. We're going to Finland.
Oh, wow.
Are the Northern Lights as amazing as they say?
So they are. You just have to catch it on the right night. So they have different KP levels. So I believe it goes 1 to 7. Mm-hmm. So sometimes people go out and they see like a KP1, which is not that strong.
Just like a small little rainbow kind of thing.
So you'll look up in the sky, and I can understand how people get disappointed because the strength behind it isn't that great. But the one night, I believe we saw a KP7, and the sky lit up for hours. It was just insane.
Really?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Where is this? That looks glorious. Did you take that photo?
I took that photo, yeah. That's one of my favourite shots of all time. I've actually got that framed in my house, yeah.
Well, I like the frame as well.
Yeah, it's a beautiful frame. That was in the Lofoten Islands in Norway, so in the Arctic Circle.
Was that north Norway?
Right up north, yeah. So right up in the Arctic Circle. So as we were there, it was the middle of winter. We're only getting about 2 hours of sunlight a day, so the sun never fully comes up.
Yeah. Just sits on the horizon.
So you get that sort of nice glow. And then the sun goes down and you sort of hit the pub and you sort of wait for the lights to kick off. So camera bag ready to the side, ready to go. And we were watching some of the cams from Sweden, Abisko in Sweden. So basically, if there's northern lights happening in Abisko in Sweden, you're watching the cam, you know what's going to happen in Norway eventually.
Does it move across, does it?
It moves across.
Okay, yeah.
So as soon as you see any bit of green light, you rush out and you find any photography spot you can. And that night we were fortunate enough to capture the cabins and, the mountain range in the background and the lights.
Is that where you stayed, in that cabin?
No, but you can stay there. People do stay there, yeah.
Jesus, that is impressive. And you've glossed the cover of multiple magazines here.
Yeah, so
tell me what this one is.
So that was a visa campaign for the Olympics in Tokyo a couple of years ago. They randomly hit me up and said, would like to use that photo, which is a photo of a surfer walking out at Trig Beach with his silhouette of a shadow.
Do you have a drone, do you?
Yeah.
Which type of drone do you use?
Well, I had the Mavic 3 until I crashed it in the Mentawais filming a surf trip, so I'm yet to buy another. But believe it or not,
tell me,
it sat in the ocean for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Still works.
Did you get it out of the ocean?
Yeah, so we found these local local Indonesian divers, and they were diving for crayfish, and I paid them $500,000, which is like $50. It had been sitting on the ocean floor for like at a depth of 23 meters for about 2 hours. Somehow,
still giving off a GPS ping?
No, I had no idea where it was. Literally no idea. I was convinced it was gone. I was like, "There's no way they're going to find it. Yep. It's over." They went down and they found it.
Good on them.
Yeah, so I managed to flush it with a bit of just like clear water.
Yeah,
and it worked.
Still works?
It still works. It doesn't fly, but it still turns on.
Really?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So shout out to DJI.
DJI.
Yeah.
We've got the Air 2. No.
Yeah.
Is it called the Air 2? It's not a
Mavic.
We're flying it at the gym. We're bringing it down.
Yes.
Yeah, my son can actually fly better than I can, so we're going to bring it down and get some footage at the gym. You've been down to Counterbalance? Yeah. So we're actually going to be flying it in there.
Oh, that'd be
as long as we don't take out anything.
Yeah. So yeah, this was probably one of the biggest campaigns I've ever done with Visa in Japan, especially for the Tokyo Olympics.
That's great. That's an honour to be a part of that.
Oh, they were showing that picture all over the airports, Narita Airport, on the trains, buses. Severely underquoted them for that job, but I really wanted to win it. I wanted the bragging rights to say my photo was used in the Olympics, and
that's worth it. That's worth its weight in gold, mate. Why aren't these things open? Come on, there we go.
And there was my second greatest achievement in photography was Lonely Planet magazine. Well, they do the books as well.
I do. You sent me a photo. Where is it? There we go. Lonely Planet, Island Life.
Yeah. So
where did Castaway in 2019?
Yeah. So that was a few years ago now.
So you're on the cover of Lonely Planet magazine.
Yeah. So that's my photo. I took in El Nido in the Philippines, and Lonely Planet hit me up and they said, "Yeah, we want to use this for one of our magazine covers."
That's a glorious photo.
Yeah.
Do you do any like portraits and stuff as well, or is it more
all landscape? I love nature. I've never been much of a portrait sort of.
Now you don't have to deal with people.
Yeah, and that as well.
People suck.
Yeah. I mean, you can go to a photography spot 5 times and you'll get different conditions every time. So it always keeps you on your feet, keeps you guessing. That's what I love about nature photography. And I love nature in general.
And you've done a fair bit of travelling, you told me.
65 countries. About to make it 67 when I go to Egypt and Kenya at the end of the year.
See, how old are you? 30?
I'm 30, yeah.
Single?
Single, yeah.
That's why you can travel, mate. Throw a couple of kids in there, try travelling. That's not going to happen.
So when I was 18, I made a goal to myself that I'd see 50 countries by the age of 30. And then I smashed that 5 years early at the age of 25 when I reached Brazil. So
where have you focused in like certain regions? Is it like mainly through Africa, mainly through Europe, or just everywhere?
I've done a lot of Europe. Been to the Americas, so USA, Canada, a bit of Central America, South America, a lot of Asia, and yeah.
Could you be the first person, I'm sure it has been done, but could you be the first person ever to come in here, which is a great honour, and do all 195 countries, or
197?
Is there 97?
197, yeah. Unless something's changed. It could be 195.
Hang on, we're looking at 10. Okay. I did have a look at this. 190.
Oh, there you go.
195. How intelligent did I sound then when I looked it up 2 minutes before you got here? 195 countries where there's 193 that are part of the UN, plus the Holy See and the state of Palestine.
Maybe that's where
Maybe that makes sense. I don't know.
No, 195 sounds.
We'll go 195. Could you visit all 195?
One day I'd love to. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of travel. I think it would take many years and a lot of time off work, which I don't know how they'd feel.
Are we allowed into every country?
I'm not actually too sure.
Surely there's some countries that go, nah.
I can't imagine they'd let Australians into Syria. But I could be wrong.
Nah. Oh, no, there's some places that don't like us. Have you got a Zimbabwean? Is that how you say it? Zimbabwean?
No, I don't have a Zimbabwean passport. Zimbabwe, believe it or not, is actually one of the worst countries to have a passport. It will basically get you into... What they say in Zimbabwe is a piece of toilet paper is more likely to get you into a country than a passport. So I actually have an Australian... UK passport.
That UK I've been trying to get for years.
And I'm about to get my German, so I'm going to have to give my UK passport up to get my German passport.
How'd you get those?
So my dad's German.
Okay.
But hence the last name Von Kalckstein.
I was going to ask you how to pronounce it. Von Kalckstein.
Von Kalckstein, yeah. Many people get that wrong.
That's why I just call you Alex. It's as simple as that. Well, that's great. A European, that second passport, that's got to be good. Would you ever go and live in Europe?
I did actually spend about 5 or 6 months living in Munich. So my sister and I actually have an apartment in Munich.
Okay.
So I went over and visited my uncle and helped him renovate some of his houses and spent some time living there and learnt German. I can't really speak it fluently, but I gave it a crack. How
much would you recommend travel? Obviously you love it and it is so beneficial to people. How would you tell people that they should travel? Not tell people, but how would you encourage people to travel who think, I've been to Bali twice, I'm a world traveller, as so many people do that I see so often.
Yeah.
What would you say?
Just go out and see the world. There's so much. It's going to open your eyes to so many different things, cultures.
How good is it?
Yeah. Beliefs, religions, landscapes. You can't beat it, honestly. I love it. I'll keep on travelling for the rest of my life.
Do you think... I just had a thought. It's a great thought. Probably completely wrong. I'll cut it out. If you're hearing this, it means it was a great thought. If you're not hearing this, then cut it out. COVID shut down the world with travel and everything. I believe that travelling matures people very quickly and just gets them in touch with reality.
Oh, it certainly does. My first ever big trip, I spent 6 months backpacking at the age of 18. When I look back and see some of the pictures of myself, I think there's one in there actually of me in Morocco when I was 18.
Let's have a look.
I look like a little kid.
Where are these photos going?
But to look back on that now and see myself...
Oh, jeez. How dare I put this photo in there? That's convenient. Jeez.
God, don't mind the mirror.
Calm down, ladies.
Oh, no.
Wait, is that you there?
Yeah, so that's me in Morocco when I was 18, looking pretty young. So that was 6 months of backpacking. So I look back on that now, I'm like, geez, I was just a kid traveling the world. But I look back on it, it was the greatest experience of my life.
You know how just society is an absolute, in my opinion, society is a bit of a shit show at the moment with people not being accountable for their own actions, with everyone complaining, everyone being a victim. Do you think that the fact that the travel has stopped over the last, well, it's just kicking off again because every second person's in Europe, but it's almost like it ties in where suddenly no one's traveling and this next wave of people coming through just seem to be so lost and so, I suppose, scared, if anything, looking for something to complain about. I'm sounding like an old man ranting here. But do you think that that may have something to do with it? Because people who have travelled excessively, not excessively, but people who have travelled a lot, they seem to be in touch with reality so much more.
Yeah, definitely. It's opened my eyes to so many things. It's given me so much confidence going out and meeting people while I've been traveling. Some of the countries I've been to, like when I was 18 years old, I was just a kid and I was meeting all these adults and I was traveling and people were inviting me to travel to different countries with them. And I remember as a kid, I was so reserved and shy. There's no way I ever thought I'd be able to do anything like that. I was scared, and there's no way I ever thought I'd be speaking on a podcast or boxing in front of...
And this podcast, of all podcasts, this one is
boxing and
sought after.
Boxing in front of 1,300 people. Like, there's no way I would have...
That's madness, that night. That's great. Maybe, do you think it's because you're 18, you're on the other side of the world? How were your parents feeling when you were over there? Were they worried?
They were worried. They've always been encouraging. They know I can be a bit of an idiot, but I can also be very responsible when it comes to travel. As long as you stay off the beaten track, you're generally going to be pretty safe. There's parts of South America I've been to, and just don't get off the beaten trail and don't take risks. I mean, we're all young and dumb.
Usually alcohol's involved.
Yeah, we're always going to do stupid shit. And there's times I'll reflect on and I'm like, wow, how did I get out of that situation? So I've been lucky.
Maybe that's it now. Maybe kids are, not kids, but maybe people in their late teens, early 20s, they're too afraid to take these risks. Maybe that's it.
That's where life gets fun, when you get out of the comfort zone.
Oh, yeah. Do you remember that? You used to just get a backpack. They used to say, only because when I went there, you needed $4,500 in your bank account to be granted a visa.
Yeah.
So I ended up borrowing about $3,000 from all my mates, put it in my bank account, got a statement, took it out and gave it back. And I rocked up there with like $1,500, if that. And back then the exchange rate was like 3 to 1. So I had like £500. And I seemed I survived for years there. And nowadays, I think everyone's just, is it fear?
Yeah, I don't know if it's fair. And travel has become very expensive.
It is.
Ever since COVID hit, like my flight to Nairobi in Kenya, one way was like $2,000. I'm like, how do people afford to travel? It's expensive.
We got a trip to the UK that we're going in November, and it's $800 to get there, but it's $2.5 to get back.
Wow.
It's madness.
It is.
Who does these prices?
Yeah.
I don't get it. Maybe it's because they're not letting Qatar. Is that going on at the moment?
Yeah.
Is there banning Qatar from coming into Australia or something? There's something going on with Qantas. I don't know. Someone's upset about something. I saw something on the news this morning.
Yeah.
But maybe that's it. Maybe. But then again, I went to the US of A, in about 1986 I was very young with my parents. And they still tell me they flew Air New Zealand back then, and it was $2,000 in 1986 to get to Los Angeles.
Yeah, wow.
Oh, return, yeah. And it's not that much. You get book at the right time now, and you could probably get return to LA for maybe, I don't know, $2,800.
Yeah.
And this is 86. It's a while ago.
Yeah.
So is it getting cheaper?
I don't know. I think
it was. I think it's more expensive now than, say, 5 years ago. Remember there was that run there where you were getting like $100 trips to Bali?
Yeah. You could fly to Europe. You could fly to London and return for $1,200.
Oh, that's the dream.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Whereas now you can fly to London one way for $1,500 to $2,000.
It's madness, isn't it? Did you go? Have you been there recently? Have you gone on the direct Perth to London?
No, I want to.
We're doing that. I don't know how I'm going to go.
17 hours?
17 big ones.
Jesus.
I don't fly well either.
It can't be good for the human body.
It can't be. You must pull up rough.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah, let me know.
Stay in touch. Take some photos. What else have we got here? Let's do some more photos. I'm just looking at these photos. Some of them make a lot of sense, and some of them I have no idea why you've included them. This one here, Machu Picchu.
Machu Picchu. That was probably one of the greatest trips of my life. Peru is probably up there with one of my favourite countries, along with Norway.
Yeah.
So I'd always said to myself as a kid, I want to do the Inca Trail. And one day I booked it, went with one of my good mates, Jamie, and we did the trek for 4 days. And when we rocked up, there was these clouds hovering because you rock up at a place called the Sun Gate, so it overlooks Machu Picchu, and these clouds were sort of hovering around the mountains of Machu Picchu, and they slowly disappeared, and it just revealed Machu Picchu for the first time. And I think everyone in the group pretty much got a tear in their eye. It was beautiful. And we walked up, and because you do the trek, you get in first, basically. So there is trains that come along, and they bring the hordes of tourists. So when we rocked up, as you can see in that photo, it looks like there's barely anyone there.
See some people down the bottom there. That's about it. That's bigger than I thought.
Yeah. But literally within the hour.
So these are the people here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Within an hour, I couldn't even get back up there to get that same photo. There were so many people, just thousands upon thousands of people. So if you ever want to do the Inca Trail in Peru, I suggest doing the trek. It's so worth it. One of the best experiences of my life.
So a photo I haven't seen in there, which is the only thing I've ever wanted to do. I just have to see, I have to see it before I die. I have to see Everest.
Yeah.
Have you been?
No, I'd love to go to Nepal.
Base camp? Or are you going to try to climb the damn thing?
No, base camp.
Just base camp?
I don't think I'm brave enough to do the full trek.
That's still pretty. Base camp is still.
It's still an achievement.
Hard. Yeah, massive. Imagine, you've seen the terrain with the rocks?
Yeah.
Imagine doing an ankle at the start. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Imagine that. You'd have to push.
Oh, you'd have to.
You'd have to get on those anti-inflammatories.
It's not cheap.
No. And don't you come in on that plane that's got to land in Kathmandu that nearly crashes
One of the most dangerous, I think it is the most dangerous airport in the world. Apparently there's only like 20 pilots that are registered to land there or something crazy like that.
For someone that's not great at flying, I don't know how I'm going to go. I'm just going to have to be medicated up to the absolute eyeballs.
Yeah.
That's something. Base camp is the one thing that I want to do. I do know the clock is ticking, and I know this body is not what it used to
let me know. I'll be keen.
Imagine that. Imagine seeing it.
Oh, it'd be crazy.
I've seen Kilimanjaro.
Oh, yeah.
Where is
Tanzania.
that? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I saw it from a distance, and no photo or anything does that kind of stuff justice, does it?
No.
It's massive. It is just, it's so consuming.
Yeah.
Imagine Everest.
Oh, man.
You wouldn't climb it?
No.
No. Well, they say every body that's along that trek up to Everest, every sort of dead body along there was once a very motivated person that reckon they could get up there.
Apparently they use them as sort of guides now. Like they say,
green boots
walk,
or something?
Yeah, just walk past the dead body there and then you'll see a dead body there and then you're going in the right track. Like, dude, that's fucking crazy.
Oh, that's not me. I'm base camp all day. Have you seen the doco on the base camp when the avalanche came down?
Yeah.
That was great.
Terrifying.
Yeah. And that actually made me want to go more.
Have you seen the documentary on Netflix, 14 Peaks?
No. Is he the climber?
Yeah, the Nepalese guy. So he climbs all of the 14 highest peaks in the world. And the guy is just an animal. He was a former Nepalese Gurkha, which is their equivalent to like the SAS. Okay. And they're like handpicked.
Yeah.
I think it was K2 in Pakistan. I think he climbed it like hungover or some shit. The guys are super fit. So he climbed up to Everest, and then halfway down he heard there was like a mayday, someone was stuck or something was going on, there was an emergency, and he basically climbed not all the way up to the top of the base, but basically saved this guy and then came back down with him. Just extremely fit.
It's madness.
Yeah.
Some of those, are they called Sherpas?
Yeah, the Nepalese. Oh, yeah, the Sherpas.
We went up to see the gorillas in Zaire, or Democratic Republic of Congo, when that was going. When I think what's it called, Gorillas in the Mist, where that was shot.
Oh, yeah.
So we went up there. And it's up a mountain. It's nothing like this. And we had a bunch of Sherpas with us, and these guys were getting paid like $2, and one of them had our tent and the backpack on top of the tent, and he was running. And I couldn't even carry this thing. And I was fit, like I was like 18. And I was fit and healthy. Thought, oh, yeah, I'm fine. No, gas. This guy just powering through it, the sweat pouring off him. They are just animals, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're a different breed. Rio de Janeiro. Yeah. Who's that on your shoulders? I know that's Jesus in the background, but
yeah, that's my good friend Jamie. We spent a couple of months just traveling around South America.
How'd you find Rio?
Oh, I loved it. It is the kind of place. It was actually just before the 2016 Olympics. I think we were there within a month of it or something.
Oh, okay. So it's cleaned up a bit?
No. There was actually... It felt kind of dodgy. So there was a heavy police presence at the time.
Rio, though.
Yeah. And we actually went to a favela. That was probably one of the coolest.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So we met this tour guide, and we weren't planning on going to the favela on the day. And he actually talked us into going into it. And I had all this cash and my GoPros and my camera, and I was like, dude, no way. And he's like, no, we'll do it. You'll be all right. So it was cleared out by the military, I believe, a year before, because they were trying to clear out the favelas before the Olympics to boost tourism and show that they were safe. So we went up, and they had the most beautiful views of Rio. And the people were nice. You'd sort of walk around a corner and you'd just be thinking, oh, fuck, is someone going to stab me or what's going to happen? But, yeah, there was no other tourists. It was just myself and Jamie. There was no one around, like no other Westerners or tourists. It was just the locals. So that was cool.
Jeez, that's a bit scary. The only exposure I've had to the favelas is I knew it was bad. Well, I thought it was a bit rough, but obviously with the UFC, when every time Charles Oliveira is fighting, they go back into the favelas. Yeah. So, but I can see this is not. I mean, if it is safe, then again, you can't judge the locals by what you see. They're always going to make it bad. It's like Northbridge. Northbridge isn't that bad. Yeah. It's not that bad. Well, what's that?
That's the Lofoten Islands in Norway again. That's
a glorious photo.
Yeah, I love that picture. So that's pretty much how you'll see the sun when it does eventually come out for about 2 hours. It just sits on the horizon like that. So you get those beautiful golden hour colours.
How flat is Perth?
Oh, it's so flat.
It is so flat.
People refer to the Perth Hills as mountains. I'm like, oh no,
it's not. To hell. When you can get up there still in fourth gear, it's not that bad. We have nothing like this, do we? No. I went to 2J the other day. You know 2J, which is about an hour from here. Hello, 2J to all 2J people. Listen, and even that has got a few hills, and that to me seemed, that really stood out. That looked great. I was thinking these are just the smallest hills. Yeah. These aren't mountain ranges. These aren't snow caps. These are. Yeah. It's a shame we don't get to see more.
I think that's why I appreciate mountains so much more when I do go overseas. I'm just like, wow, this is beautiful. Just because we don't have anything like it at home.
I'm trying to convince my wife to move to Europe.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that's
any country in particular.
Probably the UK. We got the passports, or we got the ancestry visas or something like that. I've been trying for a while. I'm not having much luck, but anyway, I'll keep bugging her. It's going to happen one day. What's this? This looks tropical and delightful.
So that was in the Maldives. We actually you can see our boat in the background. So we spent the night there, and they did give us the option to spend the night on the island. But believe it or not, our tour guide actually said this island was haunted. So he refused to sleep on it, and he did warn us. He did have a story the one night where he said he was sleeping on the island, and he was surrounded by all these black ravens. And yeah, after that, we were just like, no way, we'll sleep on the boat. But how could you think an island like that is haunted? Like, that is one of the most beautiful islands I've ever seen.
But you can imagine some things that would have gone on. I don't think there's going to be too much policing on that island.
Oh, God, no.
Can you imagine?
Oh, yeah, he would have been smoking some stuff.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Oh, not really, yes and no. Not really.
I'll tell you. I didn't until one day, and I'm still the jury's out. Until one day, I was in a basement where I used to work in the UK. And I went down the third level. I used to work in the kitchen down the bottom. It was a hole, but it doesn't matter. And it used to be, after the first level, it used to be pitch black because it's a cellar and it's London, which is dark anyway. So I went down there and I've walked this thing 50 times. I know I can walk it in the dark, and I used to go whole way to the bottom, through the swing door, and then turn the lights on and then start my day. So, but I had to walk down 2 flights of stairs in the pitch black. Got down to the bottom and walked through the swing door. Everything was fine. And I knew the light was somewhere. It was somewhere around here anyway, and I can't find it. It's on a wall. I can't find the wall. And I kid you not, I felt someone grab my hand, right, put it directly on the light, and then I turned the light on.
Oh, no.
And there was no one there. And it freaks me. Still to this day, I still get like tense in the neck.
Did you go back the next day?
I just, you know what? The funniest thing was, I was tired. I wasn't hungover or anything. I was tired, but I just thought, it didn't occur to me. Like, I flicked the light on, and then I just waited. The lights come on because I wait till it comes on in case someone put boxes down there. And then it took about 5 seconds to realise what's happened. And then I stopped and I had a look around, and I was near like the boss's office. And then I pushed on the boss's door and it was locked. And the thing is, even if someone was there, there's no way they could have seen me.
Yeah.
And it still freaks me out to this day. But mate, it was as clear as day. It grabbed it and it put it, like I felt it push it on the light switch, and then it came off. And I click, nothing. It still freaks me out to this day.
I don't think I would have gone back to work the next day.
I did. I think, I'm just trying to think what I did. I'm pretty sure I just left the lights on overnight. So don't leave the lights on. So yeah, sure, I was always last out. I'll leave those fucking lights on. I'll do Anyway, what are we even talking about? What else? What is this photo? Why is that in there?
Oh, so that was just going back to the visa campaign I did with...
oh, that's where it is there.
Yeah, so that was in Narita Airport.
Oh, that's glorious. What do we got there? We're in a helicopter or something there?
No, that's with the drone. So that's Esperance.
Okay.
Probably my favourite place in Australia.
Never been.
You have to go.
Everyone says that.
I love it there.
How cold is the water down there?
It's freezing and super sharky, but it's apart from that, it's probably one of the best places in Oz.
Besides the hypothermia and the shark attacks, you got to go swimming there.
Yeah.
Is it nice down there?
Oh, it's beautiful. I love just the locals are friendly. Everything about that place.
Fishing?
There's fishing.
Wet a line? That's fish talk, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it?
I used to be a fisherman. I haven't fished for many years, but yeah.
Okay. I got to go down there. I should do that there.
Yeah, you'll love it.
What else? Oh, we've seen you there. Jesus. How long ago was that?
That was about 4 or 5 years
this morning.
No, that was, I'm looking to sort of catch my young self there. I think I was 25 at the time.
Oh, mate, it all changes. You wait till you hit the big 4-0, the body. You just want to function. You don't lift weights anymore. You just go, please, my back. I don't want it to hurt. And what's that last one? What do we got?
That's El Nido in the Philippines. So actually crashed the drone right before that photo in front of a group of people and managed to get it up. And then, I was rewarded with that photo. So I was pretty happy in the end.
Don't drones have the sensors on the bottom so to stop them from crashing?
They do. But as I was taking off, like a big gust of wind came along and just... It was created like a turbulent effect and then flipped it. So,
how cheap are professional quality drones now? Do you remember back in the day?
Yeah.
Thousands for just garbage ones.
It's crazy to think what, like the average consumer drone now, imagine what the military have.
Ooh. One of my mates went to, I should have got him to send me the photos. He went to, there was like an army convention or something, just last weekend, I think.
Yeah.
And they showed you, like, I think it's a bunch of sellers trying to sell to the army what their stuff, and one of them was a it looked just like a big DJI drone, but it had like the capsules to drop bombs on it.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and it had absolutely amazing. Do you know why? I only found this out recently. Do you know why so many people lose their drones in the water?
Why?
It's off boats.
Oh, catching them, yeah.
No, but do you know why?
It's
because of the home. This is what I was told. I don't know if it's true. This guy from DGI still told me this. He said what happens is people take them out on boats and then they'll fly them up and they'll scan around looking for schools of fish, right? And there's the homing button. You know, if everything. Yeah, you know, if everything goes to shit, you hit the homing button, it'll shoot up and come back and land. And do you know why it ends in the drink?
Because it returns to the original GPS position, and you've drifted off from it.
I know.
Yeah.
How's that? I didn't even think of that. Luckily, we haven't taken ours out in the boat. But yeah, that makes sense.
So funny story, actually.
Tell me a funny story.
Years ago. I used to do a bit of work with a Channel 9 contractor who'd go out and would film like things that were happening around Perth, and I'd always do the sort of aerial work for him with my drone. Mm. And this one particular day there was an NBM ship coming in from Singapore. It was laying the NBM cable.
Okay.
So they would lay a primary cable and a secondary cable, and Channel 9 wanted some footage of the ship coming in because it was quite a big deal. This is when NBN was first coming in. This is quite a few years ago now. Yeah. And anyway, sent the drone up. We went out in a little tinny, and it was quite far out. It was a few Ks.
In a little tinny?
Yeah, in a little tinny. Jesus. And there was a bit of swell that day. And anyway, I've sent the drone up. I've got the shot. Awesome shot. Just 360 panel around the ship. Yeah. And I thought, I've got the shot. I'll bring the drone in now. And it was one of those old Phantoms. I don't know if you remember them.
They were massive, weren't they?
The white ones, yeah. And they had like big propellers and...
Quite loud?
Yeah, they were super loud.
Yeah, I think I know. Yeah.
So I was bringing this thing down, and because they had the handles, I'd always hand catch them.
Yeah.
So anyway, the boat's bobbed up as I've gone to hand catch it, and I've put my hand out, and it's just gone straight into the propellers, my finger.
They weren't the little plastic propellers we got nowadays. They were like the big...
They were plastic, but they were like hard and thick.
And massive. Yeah,
because they were a little bit heavier in those days. I think the Phantoms were a couple of kilos, so they needed to be a bit a little bit more durable. And
to handle the battery back in the day. Remember the size of the batteries?
They were like, that big.
Yeah, like a car battery thing.
Yeah. Yep. So anyway, my finger's gone into the prop and just like mashed it up. And
dropped the drone?
No, I managed to save the drone and managed to turn it off. And anyway, I've dipped my finger into the water and I've pulled it out, and there's just blood everywhere. And Neil...
Did you lose any of your finger?
No, it's all right. I've got a scar now. So Neil, the contractor, saw my finger and he's like, we need to go back into shore right now. It would not stop bleeding. But, I think
clean slice. Lucky you didn't lose the end of it.
Yeah, I was lucky. It just took a clean slice.
Show us the scar, mate.
You can't even really see it now, but... Yeah, no.
The camera's not picking it up. It looks horrific, people, okay?
Yeah, it was bad. But yeah, I went to a wine tour the next day and I had my fingers wrapped up and people were like, oh, what'd you do? Was it footy? What'd you do? And I was like, yeah, it was a drone injury. And they're like, the fuck? How does that even happen?
Because that would have been someone having a drone, 5-6 years ago, only like, it's like when someone had a computer 50 years ago, it just didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. Because I got into drone photography very early on when it was still very much a new thing in Perth or in Australia. So when I used to go to beaches and I used to bring the drone out, people were always fascinated. They'd want to have a look at it and they'd be like, whoa, what's that? I'd be like, oh, it's a drone.
But people scared of them though, in the sense of...
Yeah.
I think people think that everyone's going to be... I mean, what are you really doing in your backyard for people to crack the shits over it so much?
Yeah. More people were fascinated by it than annoyed. But I did have a few people come up to me and say, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And then when you explain to them what you were actually doing, I think they would be all right with it. Yeah.
Let them have a go at it, mate.
Yeah.
Fine with it. That's a lot, mate. You've lived quite a life.
Yeah, I've been very lucky.
Only 30?
Only 30, yeah.
Any thoughts of settling down?
Not at this stage. I still want to do plenty more travelling. I think if I do meet a partner eventually, she's going to have to suit my lifestyle. Working FIFO and travelling.
There'll be some Instagram pain in the behind that goes, this guy would be perfect for me. He's going to take all my great photos. We're going to travel the world.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Instagram girl. That's what you need.
Oh, I don't know about that.
That'd be tough work, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That'd be a tough gig. Yeah. I don't know. Anyhow, as long as you're not redhead, you should be safe.
Well, that's why I thought it was a perfect time to apply for the PCR, because I sort of thought, even though I work FIFO, I've still got a bit of time at home between travel.
Yep.
And when I commit to something, I give 100%. So I knew I was going to commit to the training, the dieting, the no drinking. I've been doing ice baths every week.
How are they?
I love it. I'm actually going for an ice bath after this. Yeah. If you want to join me.
That's okay, mate. I don't do well with the cold.
Yeah.
What do they do? Do they help with recovery or do they?
Massively. So it helps inflammation, like muscle inflammation. There's no way I could be training. At the moment, I'm training pretty much 7 days a week, whether it be hardcore training or just going into the gym and doing some flexibility and range of motion stuff. But boxing at least 5 times a week and then still doing a lot of cardio training. So there's no way I could be training at the level I am without ice baths.
Really?
Yeah.
They're sort of a new thing, aren't they?
Yeah, they've become quite a fad.
Saunas as well?
Yeah, contrast therapy, so between the sauna and the ice bath. So, yeah, no, I love it. I've only been doing them for about 4 months. I remember my first ice bath, I think I lasted like a minute. But it's amazing what you can talk yourself into doing. Like I remember going to my second session and I said, I'm getting 5 minutes. I'm controlling my breathing, and I went there and I did it. And yeah, it lasted the 5 minutes. The biggest thing is just controlling your breathing, and it relates a lot to boxing, just staying calm. And yeah, that's something which is going to be hard in front of 1,300 people, but we'll see how we go.
So that's it, to be able to stay in the ice bath. Is it just a matter of control, like calming yourself down?
Calming yourself down, controlling your breathing, and just convincing your mind you can do it, because everyone can. It's not going to kill you.
Maybe, can you imagine if they started doing that to treat things like anxiety? Maybe.
Yeah, I wonder if they've looked at that.
Maybe I should do that, because I'm not looking forward to this flight. And I mentioned a couple of times I did not fly well.
When's the flight?
Real bad.
Oh, the 17-hour London flight. Yeah.
I thought I'd start off slow with the 17-hour. I think I'm just going to be highly medicated. Might try that. I know some people are buying old freezers and putting the silicone up the side and filling them up and turning them into ice baths. Does that work?
Yeah, I believe so. I've seen a few guys doing it. And
I'm just not sure I want something with 240 volts plugged into it and me sitting in it.
I didn't think about that, but the safety and logistics of it. But
some old Westinghouse freezer that you're getting in.
Yeah.
So is it those inflatable ones? Or how do they do it?
No, it's a proper, like, what is it, like polystyrene? I don't know what the material used is, but it's like a proper ice bath, and then...
Do they just top it up with ice, or has it got like a chiller?
It's got a chiller on it. So there's a guy named Pete from Rec Lab who has a contrast therapy center.
Yeah.
So that's who I'm going to see after this session.
Okay.
And he's offered 20% off to all members of the PCR this year. So
nice.
It's been nice.
Have you put that out to the guys?
Yeah, I've put it out to them last night.
Okay. No, they love that. I think. Do you guys do IV drips?
Yeah. So Aaron and Jackie from Drip House actually.
Drip House.
Yeah, 2 good friends of mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I've had quite a few, and it honestly does help. When I came back from Norway, and I came back so sick just from the temperature difference. I left Norway. It was minus 12.
Yeah.
And I rocked up. I flew straight to the Pilbara, and it was like 45 degrees that day.
Jesus.
I got super sick. So I ended up flying home early from my swing.
Yeah.
Called Azza and Jackie. Jackie came down and gave me a drip, boosted me full of vitamins, and the next day I honestly felt so much better. So they do work. And it's good. It's so good to have them on board with the PCR.
They're on board again this year?
They're on board, yeah.
Good work, ladies and gents. Who Drip House. It's spelt differently. It's not house. It's horse, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's why I keep pronouncing it wrong. I got to try one of those things. I see them all the time. I got to try it.
Yeah, you definitely need.
Got to help me. I do shift work. Yeah, I don't feel peachy in the mornings at all. I'll have to try it. I'll come down. Or whereabouts are they located?
They actually do mobile, so they come to your house. So normally I just call Jackie and she comes over, or you can meet them at certain areas in Perth. They'll have like little pop-ups.
Okay.
So I think they'll actually come into Counterbalance and start injecting.
Beautiful. Jackie, I might have to give you a call if I have a rough night tonight. Come on over. Hook me up. Should we actually get into this PCR? We've gone 2 hours, 5 minutes.
Wow, we've covered so much.
It's amazing how I know.
Time's just flown by.
I know it is weird. I know people go, I don't know how I'm going to talk for half hour.
Yeah, I was thinking like, man, I'm going to battle to make 30 minutes.
Nah,
We're 2 hours in.
2 hours.
Well, we've had a good chat. We've talked about
Everything.
Yeah.
Piece of cake.
Yeah.
Easy. The record's 4 hours 20. We
wow.
won't crack. No.
Wait till Trent comes in.
Trent's been called into work tomorrow. So Trent's supposed to be in tomorrow, but we're going to have to push that back a bit. Who have we got even?
Speaking of Trent, actually,
can't say it.
I think there's a picture somewhere
Say
of
it.
his head on the canvas after a sparring session with me.
Let's have a look. Oh, look at that.
So there he is.
Trent after 15 seconds.
And if you scroll right in, you can see his eyes actually shut. There's
Who is going to be fighting Trent? That is going to be a nightmare. Firstly, because he's a good boxer. Secondly, his crowd of mates there are just going to be out of control.
I would not want to fight Trent.
He's
got so much energy. I don't know how old.
Way too much.
How old is Trent?
You know what? He could say 21. I'd say I
Yeah.
believe him. He could say 60, and I'd say I believe you.
Yeah.
He's been around. You know, he's a lead singer of a band.
No way.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
I won't go into too much here. I'll show you afterwards. Oh yeah, Trent the front man. You
Yeah.
can see it. He's got that presence.
So yeah,
Who
as
else?
you can see, I've made a few memes here. There's Bella.
With teeth, Bella.
Yeah.
She's full of energy.
She is. She can box, that girl.
Can you imagine? Oh, imagine. I think Bella's coming in. When are you coming in, Bella? I should actually have it here somewhere. Bella's coming in next week. Jesus, I'm not going to book anyone else in that day. That girl can talk.
I hate to say this because she will be watching this, but
Tell me
that girl can box. She is quick. I've sparred with her a couple of times now, and
Have you seen who? I'm not saying she is because I don't know who's fighting anyone, so get off my back, everyone. But do you know who I think she may possibly fight?
who?
Have you met Danielle?
No.
Danielle can fight.
Can she?
Oh, my God. It's funny because I know some of the guys, the big hitters. I'm excited to see every one of these fights. Last PCR, there was two young ladies by the name of Casey the Wild Rose Greaves, which is Nigel's sister,
Yeah.
and fought Jenna the infamous Greer. They were fight 6 they were. And I was more excited about seeing these two because they were both very good fighters, and Case being Nigel's sister, I was like, this is going to be a great fight. And it was a great fight. So far, everything I've seen, Danielle versus Bella is going to be a cracker.
Be a matchup.
That is going to... They're so evenly matched, all the fights. I don't know who you're going to be matched up against. Tell everyone, anyone can win.
I think I've got a good feeling who I'm going to be matched with.
We'll get into that in a sec. Let's just go through your photos.
Yeah.
Where are we back? That's Bella.
Oh, here we go. So, yeah, there's Bella.
Bella.
Jared.
Let me just say, Jared's fiance, I found out, Hannah, absolutely lovely lady, and Jared seems a good man, and I'm glad. And
I've actually known Jared for a long time. I met him in Bali about probably close to 10 years ago. And
did he have a shirt off?
Yeah, he did.
Surely.
Yeah,
Does he own a shirt? Does he own sleeves?
I don't think he does. I think he's in Bali at the moment as we speak, funnily enough.
I think, is he in Bali or is he away? He sent me a roster. If he is in Bali and not here,
he could be away.
Pretty sure he did. He did send me a roster. He is away, so he's supposed to be coming in. He's a good man. And look at Abernathy in the background. That guy's a clown.
Oh, there he is.
Look at there, Justin Abernathy with the title. Last time he's held the belt. You could be fighting any one of these guys.
I know. Oh, the Monster's back.
Mongy's back. That's surprise. That's all official, is it?
Yeah, I believe so. That's good to have him back on board.
I only heard that last week. Look at Manny Pacquiao in the background. Jesus, Mongy. Did you see Mongy's fight when he fought? He fought PCR.
Yeah, with Trenny
8 against the Hood Pope.
The Hood Pope.
Yeah, and broke my heart. That only because I was mates with both of them, and I hated to see one of them lose.
Well, I know Mongy's out for redemption, so
he is. He will be a nightmare to fight. Absolute nightmare.
I don't think I'd want to fight him.
He's not going to crip walk as he comes in this time like he did last time. He's improved. And the same as Trent. Those two couldn't. I don't think those two will ever fight again. But the improvement between Mongy and Trent now compared to when they fought, They're just absolutely incredible. Good on you, Mongy.
I think there's a couple there of Glenn and Nigel as well.
Let's go back a bit. Be careful about post.
And I did warn them.
Oh, hang on. I'm going back too far. Where are you?
Yeah, there's Glenn. I did warn him. He didn't want to listen.
Oh, Jesus. Have you sparred with either of these two?
No. I don't know how I'd feel about that.
I would definitely spar with them before you talk too much shit about them.
I probably shouldn't be shit talking. I should probably put the money where the mouth is.
And you're skipping. You sent me this the other day.
Oh, yeah. So I was always...
What is this setup?
That's actually my gym in High Wycombe. So
that's at your house?
No, I wish that was my house. It's gym in High Wycombe that I go to.
How didn't you hit the TV?
I don't know. I think I was getting pretty close to it.
Very close. That's all I was thinking about while you were skipping, doing this stuff. I was thinking you're going to smash this TV.
Yeah, so I've been skipping for probably 5 or 6 years now, and I think I was always destined to get into boxing. I actually saw this video of Floyd Mayweather skipping. I think it was before the Manny Pacquiao fight, and I was like, holy shit, I want to do that one day.
It's a skill.
Yeah, it is.
It's such a skill.
Yeah.
And they're flicking the ropes and catching it, doing all that fancy stuff.
Yeah. It's good fun. It's when I'm skipping, I actually feel like I'm zenned out. I feel like I'm away from the world. I've got my music blasting, and
it's actually very good for fitness.
It's super good. Super, super good for fitness, yeah.
It looks so easy.
And teaches you footwork and, again, controlling your breathing. And
I did see many years ago, Costa Ziv, he was talking about his warm-up, and he goes, he goes, I'll do 250 push-ups and I'll skip for 25 minutes as my warm-up. I was like, that's his warm-up.
Jesus.
How do you skip for 25 minutes? That level of fitness. Where do you get tired when you skip? I get in the chest for some reason. I think too tense.
Yeah, I think the shoulders for me. Usually more so when I use the heavy rope because you're working the shoulders more.
So there's different ropes?
Yeah, so there's different weighted ropes. That's just my speed rope. So I've got a heavy rope as well.
Wouldn't the heavy rope be faster? No?
No. It's slower. So you can't really do double unders or anything like that. It's just more so just working your core and your shoulders.
Just I didn't know there were different types of ropes.
Yeah. I do get pretty bad shin splints if I'm going for too long. But yeah, it's pretty low impact. It's when you're skipping, if you're just doing general skipping for fitness, it's fairly low impact.
How funny is it watching people skip for the first time and doing the double foot jumps?
Yeah.
But the thing is, you will get it. I did see a couple of the girls. I think it was, is it Jess?
Yeah.
Jessica. I saw her skipping. And I was thinking, stick with it, Jess. You're going to get it. You're going to have it under control. She was doing fine. But yeah, it is skipping for the first time. You can't just walk straight into skipping and just have it under control, can you?
Yeah, it takes a while.
Do you cop it in the shins a lot still?
Yeah. And I get a lot of whip back from the rope. So sometimes if you miss something, it comes back and it hits you in the face. Very much like boxing. Yeah. But yeah, God, it stings.
I can imagine. Especially you are whipping this thing around.
Yeah.
It sounds fancy. Let's have a listen. Sounds like a breeze blowing outside or something. That does sound good.
Yeah, funnily enough, so I just recently started at a new site with Rio Tinto.
Yep.
And a lot of them don't know that I've signed up for the PCR and I'm doing all this fight camp and training. And so my second swing at my new site, I've rocked up with 2 black eyes, and I've gone and met the new superintendent from training.
Who gave them to you?
I don't know. I actually don't know. When you're in the moment.
Cablewise, let me just point out, Cablewise are a major sponsor and do excellent work. I cannot recommend them enough.
No, I shouldn't be saying that.
You should. Everyone so far has said that. I think I've said it twice.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of interviews. I think Ian.
Ian's such a nice guy.
Yeah, he is a nice guy.
So you've rocked out with 2 black eyes.
Yeah, so I've met the superintendent for the first time. One was much bigger than the other.
Yeah.
And they're probably thinking, who the fuck is this new guy?
Don't mess with him.
Yeah.
Give him a promotion.
But then once you sort of explain to them, I've signed up for this boxing camp and I'm doing training and there's a fight night and it's for charity.
They're good with it?
Yeah, they definitely respect it.
Oh, beautiful.
I think people always respect boxers.
Yeah. I think a lot of people will not talk shit about it, but I think it might be a jealousy thing. a bit where people will go, I shouldn't do that, or it's bad for you, or this or that. But I know it is bad for you, but still, having the guts to get in there, that's saying something.
I remember when I told my mum.
What did Mum say?
I sat her down for lunch and I said, yeah, Mum, I've signed up for this boxing fight. And I think her exact words were, this is in Zimbabwean accent, by the way, what the fuck are you doing? I guess she's be supportive, but she's just worried. She's always been supportive of everything I've done. I think, she's just slightly concerned that I'm going to take a few too many head knocks, which I have.
It's control, though. You're going to get hurt more in training than you are on the night.
Yeah. I'm used to getting injured. I used to do BMX when I was a kid, and the amount of times I gave her heart attacks when I was in hospital, stitches, concussions, broken bones. I've broken way too many bones.
And the parents still... Imagine think about what we put our parents through. Put them through hell.
We do.
Stuff we used to do.
Yeah.
No wonder kids are so protected now.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit protective. Not too bad. My kids aren't sporty, so I just don't want them to hurt themselves. What made you want to step in the ring? October 7, Crown Grand Ballroom, brought to you by Gobsmacked.
So
Gobsmacked Sports Mouthguards, the ultimate in sports mouthguard protection. Major sponsor. Talking about mouthguards?
Yeah.
Hit me. Tell me about your experience with Gobsmacked Sports Mouthguards.
Yeah, so Rob and Jade have been awesome. Rob is the nicest guy. Loves a yarn.
Loves a chat.
Loves a chat.
Yep.
But, they're so nice. And it's good to see they're doing so well out of it as well.
And you've got your mouthguard already sorted?
Yeah, so I picked it up over the weekend on Friday, sorry.
You head out to Leaderville?
Yeah.
Pick it up?
Went and saw Rob. Had a bit of a chat. I didn't even think about this, but Rob said to me, what colour would you like? And it didn't even cross my mind about the red and the blue team. But I said to Rob, I want a blue mouthguard. And I wasn't even thinking about the teams. So I think I'm destined to be in the blue team with the $6. Oh, sorry, the $6 million man. Oh, Glenn's gonna hate that.
So you don't know what team you're in yet?
No.
When do they split you up?
I believe in the next week to week and a half.
That's when it all changes. That's when the games start. That's when they really start getting you focused. Because blue team, you've got obviously the $6 million man. You've got Chris Chiari in there as well.
That would be good.
Live-wise, both those ones.
Yeah. So my friend Yavana, I don't know if you remember Yavana from last year's PCR. It was towards the end of the year.
Yavana,
yeah. She actually...
Yavana, CV.
Yeah.
Yes, she got the win.
Yeah, she got the win, and she was working away, and I think a few people sort of doubted her. But
she got the win over... I cannot think of that. I'm so sorry. I can't think of her opponent's name.
Yeah.
The one that's up in that does the boxing up in Joondalup. I'm so sorry, I forgot your name. How bad's that? Yavana, I did talk about this fight.
Yeah.
Yavana, she came in and I thought there is no way this girl's going to win.
She came out swinging.
She swung for 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Just kept going.
Yeah.
I thought this girl is going to be gassed by the end of round 1.
She's so fit.
But she wasn't.
Yeah.
She wasn't at that many training sessions.
Yeah.
Is it just natural?
She works FIFO as well, so she missed out on a lot of sessions. But I think she's just naturally so energetic. So earlier this year when I was in Iceland, Yavana was on my trip. So it was the first time we'd properly met, and I sort of mentioned to her, look, I've always been interested in the PCR, and she was the one that really talked me into it. So shout out to Yov and Pim, by the way. Pim that organises the event.
Yeah.
Yeah. Both talked me into it, and they got into Glenn's ear and said, this guy's really keen. I really wanted it from the start when I applied. From the moment I applied, I changed my whole training regime. Yeah. I was like, I've got to get fit. I've got to stop drinking. I've got to start doing more ice baths and really pushing myself. Yeah. And I just sort of manifested that I was in before they'd even given me the all clear or the yes. And yeah, I was just smashing my training, and I was like, surely I've got to get in. I said to Pim and Yavana, please stay in Glenn's ear. Just let him know I'm keen. So
you met Yavana. How did you know Pim prior to this?
I've known Pim for probably the good part of 10 years, just through friends of friends.
Okay.
So I've always been in a pretty close friend group with Pim. She's a great girl. One of the hardest work ethics I've ever known for anyone to have. she's an extremely hard worker.
You been at one of these PCR events before?
No, I
First
haven't.
time?
First time. I've always wanted to go, and now my first time is going to be fighting in the event, so that's pretty special.
It's going to be big.
Yeah.
The videos and all that don't do it justice.
Yeah, 1,300 people. Jeez.
Madness. Where do you want to fight on the night? First, kick it off.
Oh, I'd like to maybe be in the middle somewhere. Enjoy a couple of cheeky drinks after the fight, hopefully with the belt in hand.
There is that sweet spot. I always say it's early. I always say it's about 3 or 4, but there is that spot where you're not first off the line and you do get to enjoy it afterwards. I think that's the key. But then again, someone's always got to be first, someone's always got to be last.
Yeah.
Some people want the main event. Not for you?
Oh, we'll see what happens.
Prior to this, what's your normal training routine like?
So it's always been general gym and fitness. I've always loved to stay fit and, go to the gym and lift weights. And it's never been anything too crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now I can feel myself getting fitter and fitter by the day. Each training session I go to, I can feel my skills developing in boxing. The first week I was like, oh shit, I'm in a bit of trouble here. Like, I'd just flown in from work and they were a week ahead of me, and I was like, oh, I've got some serious catching up to do. So I have been doing boxing on the side as well as PCR, just trying to get as much in as I possibly can. And I'm still smashing the gym every day, doing all the right things, recovery, etc.
How does it go with working away, with you being able to get into the routine of training? Because it must be hard doing FIFO work where at the end of a shift you'd prefer to maybe go to the old, what are the lunchrooms called? What are they called?
The wet mess and the dry mess.
The wetty. The wetty. It must be tempting to go to the wetty, get a gut full of food, then go home and watch some Netflix.
Yeah, I'm very regimented.
Okay.
So I know every day at the end of my 12.5-hour shift, I'm making it to the gym. I make very little excuses. So I love going to the gym. I feel like when I'm pushing myself, I feel like I'm developing myself and getting fit, and I want to do all the right things to come out with a win. I even copped a bit of a thumb injury the other day. I
was going to ask about injuries.
Yeah, so I uppercutted someone and got a nice clean hit. But
who was
unfortunately, I won't say who it is. Got a nice clean hit, but I must have caught my thumb on something, and it's kind of blue and purple today. I'm too scared to go for scans in case they give me some bad news, so I'm just going to push through it.
Have a look at it. How's it? Jeez, maybe it's just a sprain or something.
I'm hoping it's just a sprain. I don't think it's anything too serious. But yeah, I'm just trying as hard as I can to prevent any injuries.
Yeah. That must be scary for people.
Yeah, I'd be devastated if I had to pull out with an injury. Pulling out is the last thing on my mind. I want this fight so bad. I pushed so hard to get it, and I think both Glenn and Nigel know how much I want it.
Yeah. I think they did lose someone last week.
Yeah, so I think there's possibly been a couple.
I know one of them has, due to work, he has been accepted into a position. He's got to go. But I believe the other one's got cracked ribs.
Yeah.
I didn't know whether that was official. That's why I didn't want to say.
I've seen him at training just on the air bike.
Yeah.
Not entirely sure if he's still going to take part in the event or not. So I know Mongy has been called up.
Yeah.
It's good to have the monster back.
The monster. How funny would it be if he went on the red team?
Oh, he would never let that happen.
Never. That will not happen.
He's blue all the way.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's good. His experience, not just in his boxing, but being able to talk you guys through what it's like, is got to be helpful.
Mongy's a legend. So the first week I flew back from work, when I sort of saw most people were ahead of me in the technical department.
They've come along so quick in 3 weeks. That is amazing.
Everyone's looking sharp. Everyone's fitness is improving. So yeah, Mongy invited me to his house just to do some pad sessions and do a bit of catch-up work, and he gave me some really good advice for the night.
Okay.
So,
have any other, say, previous fighters, you spoken to any of those guys or girls?
Yeah.
Obviously with Joanna.
Yeah, so Tranny, the Hood Pope, had a bit of a chat to him. Everyone's been good. Everyone's just been so supportive of one another. Even amongst the crew, there's no bad blood. It's very, there's a lot of camaraderie and good, healthy rivalry.
Even when you split into the teams, I know you guys will talk a fair bit of shit about each other.
Oh, there'll be trash talking.
But there's no animosity.
No.
And I always say that. There was one instance, but we in the God knows how many 100-odd fights that there's been, everyone still gets along afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, you think about Trent and Mongy fought each other, and you've seen them now.
Yeah. It's good to see. Like, they're good mates. And I look forward to slugging it out in the night and then going and having a beer with my opponent. And don't know who it is yet. I've got a good feeling who it is. But
oh, okay. We will get to that. Yeah. Have you had to change up your diet or anything leading into this?
I've always been a pretty natural, healthy eater, but I have tweaked it up a little bit. Just my calorie intake has been a lot less. I've been eating all the right things, veggies and fish and chicken. I actually did start dropping weight too quickly, so I've had to pick it up a little bit more and start eating a few more calories because initially when I first applied for the PCR, I was sitting at about 89 kilos.
Okay.
And I weighed myself yesterday. I was sitting at about 81. And I told Glenn and Nigel...
That's a fair drop.
Yeah.
Is that just from training?
Just from training, yeah. Training, eating healthy.
How tall are you?
I'm 6 foot,
okay.
183 centimetres.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus. That's a fair
drop. The weight, ever since we started properly training in the fight camp, the weight has just been dropping off me. So I'm almost scared I'm going to lose too much too quickly. So I want to sit around the 80 kilo mark.
Strength is still there though?
Yeah, the strength is still there. I've gone off the weights. I have noticed, which is pretty natural to happen anyway, I've noticed a bit of a digression in my strength. Yep. But I feel like sharper and quicker.
Speed?
Yeah.
Speed picks up?
The speed's definitely picking up.
Nice.
Yeah.
That jab.
I haven't got black eyes this week, so I'm sure I'll go in tonight and I'll probably cop a couple before I fly to work again.
The jab, that's the key. The jab, last PCR we had in April, the red team, I believe it was 11-4, they got up.
Yeah.
And I'm not too sure what was said, but almost everyone that won worked behind the jab. I've never seen the jab thrown that many times in an event. And they all did it. Nige just must have been in their ear. Yeah. Just work that jab.
Well, I'm just going to have to throw jabs tonight with my thumb out of action for...
Oh, that's your right hand as well.
That's my right hand.
So. You're right-handed?
Yeah, I'm right-handed.
Switch to southpaw. Switch it up.
I'll be throwing the jabs. Actually, I've probably just given away too much. You'll have to block that bit out.
Do you head out a decent social life as well? Has that all have been put on hold?
Yeah, definitely. So I feel a bit bad, actually. A lot of my good friends do know that I'm training for this fight and I'm taking it very seriously. And I did sort of pre-warn them that I was like, guys, look, you probably won't see me out for the next couple of months. So I have taken it extremely seriously. And I'll still try and catch up with friends for coffees and things like that, but I don't go out and about these days.
You need the sleep.
Yeah.
Especially on a Friday, Saturday when you got to train the next day.
Yeah, definitely. It's so important. My first night back after flying in from work, I slept 11 hours straight. I was so tired.
Jeez. And they've all been supportive of you?
Super supportive, yeah, super supportive. So a lot of my good friends are coming on the night and they're already hitting me up for tickets. So
tickets on sale on the 8th, I believe.
September 8th, yeah.
Yeah, so that's Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
It's coming around.
It is. It's getting serious now and we're about to split up into teams and yeah, it's going to be interesting the next few weeks.
It's going to be good. It's going to be over so quick.
I know.
I hope you get to enjoy it.
Yeah, that's the one thing I've been trying to remind myself is boxing has literally consumed my life. It's my shower thoughts. I think about it on the plane when I'm flying to and from work. I think about I dream of boxing every day. It's boxing. So I try and take a minute or two out just to try and focus on other things. But yeah, when I get in that mindset, it's all I can think about. I envision putting that belt over my shoulder every day. So yeah.
That's serious.
Yeah.
How do you reckon you go? Obviously you've been hit, you've got a couple of black eyes. How do you reckon you're going to go with, I suppose, hitting someone and being hit?
Yeah, it's a different ball game when you're actually stepping the ring and you're getting hit and you're having to throw hits and you're exhausted and your hands start getting heavy and you start dropping them. So it's going to be a massive challenge. This fight camp has been tough. It was never meant to be easy. That belt doesn't come easy, so we've got to work for it.
Yeah.
But you can see very quickly who is prepared to work for it and who isn't. So
also, there's already
I'm not calling anyone out, but
the mind games have started already.
Yeah,
I know some people do. Well, from the sparring I've seen, there's a couple of people who aren't that happy to throw that first punch, but once they get hit, the counter is there. I'll call him out actually.
Yeah,
Trent Peterson, cable wise, and I was watching him spar. I was thinking he's a big boy. He knows what he's doing, and he wasn't throwing any punches. And then he caught one, and then he just returned fire, and then he'll calm down a bit, and then he'll cop another one.
Yeah,
very much a counter striker there. Is there a chance you're fighting Trent?
Oh God, no.
Oh, imagine that.
I think the weight difference. I'm glad anyway. I'm glad there's a good 15 because I think he's around the 100 mark.
Is he?
Yeah, so he's got a good
big boy,
17 kilos on me.
I'm going to ask you straight off the bat now. Who do you think? Because I've got your photos up here somewhere. Jesus, where are you? There we go. So, who do you reckon your opponent's going to be?
Oh,
come on. These are just
that.
Yeah. Who do you just think? Obviously, the teams haven't been split up just as yet, but is there anyone in mind that you reckon that you may be suited to? Tell me who.
Justin Abernethy. From the moment I walked in for the first time, because I missed out on the first week, I eyed him off and I thought, I just had that funny feeling that we would be
Funny
fighting.
guy.
It was roughly the same weight, same height, same physique. Yeah.
I could see that actually. Imagine, he'll just chew your ear off between rounds as well. That man loves to chat.
He's a good guy.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
That's going to be...
it's going to be a challenge. I know he's been putting in some hard work. He's been doing extra sessions.
Yeah.
So, has he got
That'll
enough?
be a great fight. That'll be a really good one to see. He's coming in. When's he coming in? Is it Friday? Where are you, Justin? There we go. Friday. Yep, he's here at 1 o'clock. Well, there's my Friday afternoon gone. If he's in here chatting.
Yeah.
That'll be a good one.
I recommend he keeps training hard if this does go ahead because it's going to be a good fight.
Mental changes. How have you felt like now you've got this focal point? How have you gone? Do you feel any anxiety coming on? Do you feel calmer? How's that going?
It changes day to day. Like Saturday morning I went in, I just felt so good, like so energized, so ready to go. And then you get smacked in the head a few times and you're like, fuck. It just changes your whole game plan. And then you start overthinking things and you start putting pressure on yourself, and then the next day you walk in, you're like, oh, okay, I feel good again. So it changes day to day. Like, I know naturally I put a lot of pressure on myself because I want to win. Like, I want to perform. I want to do well. So, yeah, it is a big mental game, massive mental game. So
I think once you're in the teams, that's when they start working on the mental game.
Yeah.
And being able to get hit and then keep composure. I mean, you can always go, I believe this is clarified on the day before, and it caused a little bit of a drama in last PCR, is amateur rules. If you get knocked down, you get like an 8 count, or you might get a standing 8 count. You only get 1 for the fight.
Yeah.
So if you get it in the first, they're not going to give you. If you get knocked down in the third, that's it, fight over. So you've only got 1 in 3 rounds.
One of my friends mentioned to me the other day, he said, what if you get knocked out in front of all those people? I'm like, fuck. I haven't even thought about that.
That's a terrible thing to say.
Yeah, it was. But I've just thought about winning this entire time, and then I'm like, fuck it. Like,
it is possible.
It's possible.
Very rare. I don't think I've seen anyone. I've seen a couple of people get stopped, but I haven't seen anyone out cold. I've just seen people who are pretty groggy, but they're okay.
Yeah.
So I think I've only seen 3 stoppages in all the fights.
Yeah.
And they're normally the bigger boys.
Yeah.
One of them was a probably about your size last time, but those two were crazy. Those 2 guys throwing hands.
Yeah.
But it is very rare. I mean, it can happen. It is boxing. But you got the headgear. Work on the defense.
Yeah.
Work how to hold.
Yeah, I've been working on the defense. So
yeah, I think that's something that you always, or a lot of people don't focus on in the early days, because especially most of your training's done on bags where they're not hitting back. You never have to worry about getting out of the way.
Yeah.
So
So up at work at the moment, because I've started on this new site, and it is a fairly new site, all they have is a boxing bag. So that's the only bit of training kit I have for the 8 days I'm there. So I spend my time doing a lot of shadow boxing, and people probably think, oh, fuck, who's this hero?
Shadow boxing in the mirror.
Yeah, so unfortunately I haven't had as much spar experience as I would like, but every day I'm home, I'm trying to do like light sparring and
If you get in trouble, just spit your mouth guard out. Base us. No, don't do that. No, don't do that.
I'm not going to play dirty.
I joke about that. Someone will do that. And Brad told me to do that. Any concerns about the event itself? Obviously, your mates in your ear saying don't get knocked out. But anything else?
I think just at the time, I think I'll be pumped when I walk out and see the crowd of 1,300 people. But it does sit in the back of your mind. You're like, fuck, I've never been in front of that many people in my life. I don't think I've ever been up in front of like 30 people, let alone 1,003. Really? Yeah. I'm naturally like a pretty shy and reserved guy at times. So this for me is like completely out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
But this is something I want more than anything. So
how do you reckon you've obviously visualised walking out. You've gone through it all 1,000 times.
I visualise it every day.
You get to go in there during the day beforehand and actually do your walkout to get comfortable.
Good. Yeah.
And that seems to help a lot of people.
Yeah. I'd hate to trip down those stairs. Imagine that. Oh, God. Just turn around and go back.
How do you have, I suppose you won't know until the night, but anything like adrenaline dumps? You had those before?
No.
Just get very lethargic very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's when something happens that you're not prepared for.
You do get it in firefighting a bit, like when you walk into like an intense situation and all this adrenaline kicks in, and then I have noticed it actually, and then you walk away and you're like, holy shit,
absolutely exhausted.
Yeah,
I think if you can control that, I think with these fights, I reckon more than 50% of it is a mental game.
Definitely.
Because they're so evenly matched. It's not like someone is a massive underdog and just has to have luck on their side. They match you up so close, anyone can beat anyone.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to bet on. It really would, I reckon.
Should get sports bet involved.
Should do. Oh, no,
throw a few multis.
Some match fixing as well. Take a dive like Sonny Lister. Okay, so you told me about your friends, family. I told the old mum's a bit concerned, but anyone else? Anyone else thrown in their opinion?
Yeah, Dad's a little bit concerned. I sort of, on Father's Day on Sunday, popped over to his house and had a nice lunch and nice spread. I was sort of complaining to him a little bit that I had a headache from sparring, and I think he showed a bit of concern. He was like, what are you doing? But he has been supportive. He'll be there on the night. And,
both parents?
I know Dad will be there for sure. I'm not entirely sure about Mum. Mum is super supportive, but I think it might be a bit much for her.
Oh, yeah. It must be. Think about how emotional. I don't know how you go. I get really cold when I get nervous around fighters. I watch some UFC fights and I get like physically, like I'll change. Like I can feel I get cold and I get so nervous. I get anxiety. And that's watching someone that I've never met fight. Imagine what it's like having, I guess, your son or your daughter or a close friend in there.
Yeah.
It must be terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely terrifying.
Yeah. I can understand her concern.
I think that's what people don't take into account. I'm not saying you don't, but is the sacrifice that the people around you have made to come in. There'd be panic in that crowd. I get nervous, and all I've done, I've met all of you guys, and I'm nervous on the sidelines when it goes on. So I can't imagine what it's like for the family.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to stay calm.
Yeah, a few drinks for them though. They're usually a few beers deep.
They'll be hurling abuse.
So you think you may know who your opponent's going to be? Maybe Justin Abernathy. Has anyone worded you up about that, or you just got this feeling?
I've actually had a couple of people say to me, I think I know who your opponent is.
Really?
Yeah. Bella, actually.
Oh, don't listen to anything.
Yeah.
She's
probably just trying to get in my head.
She's going to be on a different team to you.
Yeah.
All right. Walkout music. Let's go. We're into the fun part now. Let's get back to you. Take that picture of Justin Abernathy down. What's your walkout music going to be?
So I've got 2, possibly 3 songs in mind.
Hit me.
Gary Glitter, Rock and Roll. You know, have you seen The Joker?
The Joker?
Yeah.
I have not.
Oh, you got to see The Joker.
Gary Glitter. That's questionable, mate. I'll be honest. Let's have a listen to Gary Glitter. This one?
Yeah, that's the one. Oh, no, sorry. That's not that one.
That's Gary Glitter.
I think it's Rock and Roll Part 2.
Part 2. Gary Glitter's in a spot of bother with a number of things.
Yeah,
here we go. For The Joker. Let's go. Oh, of course there's ads. Do I have to get YouTube Premium?
You have to get it. So worth it.
Really? What kind of price are we looking at for YouTube Premium?
It's like $12 a month or something.
Ah, it's a bargain.
Yeah, you can download stuff and skip ads and...
Really?
Yeah.
The amount of time I've wasted on this thing. All right, let's have a listen. This is a great song. Do you remember a band from the 90s that sampled this song in there? You're going to know the answer because it's in front of you. But that song there, every time I hear it, I think of a song. It's from the 90s.
Yeah.
From a band called KLF. I don't know if you remember KLF. They did a song with Tammy. That might be before your day. They were called the Time Lords. It was called Doctrine in the TARDIS. Have a listen to this. You'll hear it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a complete rip-off of Gary Glitter.
So they've ripped off Gary Glitter?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, wow. Yeah, they've completely ripped it off.
It's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
That's a great song. Gary Glitter, I'd say it's questionable just due to it being Gary Glitter.
It's a bit of controversy.
Okay, listen.
Controversy behind that.
Time Lords, KLF, Doctrine in the TARDIS. What else? What song we got?
Supermassive Black Hole by Muse.
Oh, nice.
Which is probably the song I'm leaning towards to the most.
This has got a glorious start to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking about it right now.
Oh, this is a great song.
Yeah.
You know you get to choose what part of the song you come in on as well. So it doesn't have to be from the start. So just get onto them. Get onto Brightside. You get it.
I was actually thinking about, and this is before Sean O'Malley even used it in his recent walkout.
There we go.
Superstar by Lupe Fiasco. But now that Sean O'Malley's stolen it from me, I can't use it.
You're not a fan of Sean O'Malley?
No, I'm a fan of him. I just don't think I could.
Let's have a listen to it. Let's have a listen to Lupe Fiasco's Superstar featuring Matthew Santos. You watch YouTube take all this stuff down through copyright.
Yeah.
It's really good songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, Supermassive Black Hole, you're leaning towards that?
I think so.
I think that, just my opinion, that is the best of the three. I do like it. That Gary Glitter song is a cracker.
It's just a shame it's Gary Glitter.
It's bad. Gary Glitter's been in trouble for doing some stuff he shouldn't do.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, mate, I'm sure it's going to... Is it get you pumped?
It does. Yeah.
Do you listen to it now on the way to the gym?
All the time. Really? Like, I just literally sit in the car, put the playlist on, the 3 songs that I have in the playlist, and I just run through them and I envision walking out. So,
what about starving yourself of it now, in between now and on the night, so it just kicks that bit harder?
I probably should. That's actually a really good idea.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. I did that with... Do you remember Pearl Jam song Animal?
I'd probably know it.
It's got one of the greatest intros of all time. The only reason I say it is this song used to be my go-to. Used to be my absolute go-to, and then I overused it. Like, you know, when you just... Okay, I need to get YouTube Premium, okay? This song used to be my go-to, and then I listened to it too much, and it just doesn't hit me anymore.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Yeah, this is a banger.
Oh, the hits. This was great, but I'm just saying that maybe if you deprived yourself of a bit of Supermassive Black Hole, and then on the night you just get that feeling, getting pumped. Maybe, just my opinion. It's up to you. You're the one fighting. Nickname. What do we got?
Oh, so I haven't thought of a fight nickname. I do have a nickname.
Is it your own? Can you give yourself a nickname, or do you sort of need a nickname given to you?
I'm not too sure. So
traditionally, it has to be given to you, but in this case,
because my full name's Alexander. When we grew up in Zimbabwe, the Africans could never really say my full name properly. They would say Xander.
Yeah.
So my parents, it somehow turned into Zundy. And when we moved to Australia, it turned into Zandy. So I don't think I've ever heard my parents call me Alex.
It's
And
always
if they do,
Zandy.
Yeah, if they do, I'd be in big trouble.
So it's going to be Alex, Zandy.
I don't know if it'd fit a fight name though. So
Not Alexander the Great?
I thought about that, but Alexander Volkanovski's got that one.
Well, we can call Alex. We can call Volk and say, Volk,
Yeah.
I'll allow you to use my nickname.
I don't think he'll mind. He's my favourite fighter after all.
He's good,
so,
isn't he?
Yeah, he's really
Beat
good.
Makachev that day. Was
Yeah.
Rob. Let's not talk about that. So you're going to go with Zandy, you reckon? Still got a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I got a couple of weeks, so should hopefully.
Whatever it
make
is,
my mind
give me a heads up. So when I do the intro, I think CJ's doing the intros, but if I'm on the commentary desk, I'll make sure I'll be dropping that heaps. One thing I do ask is once this is all done, only because I've noticed it, not with everyone, but with some people, there's a big come down afterwards. Like I'm talking, say, October 8, October 9, maybe due to a touch of alcohol consumption on the 7th, but there's a big come down afterwards, which
Yeah.
I think some people aren't prepared for.
I have heard about this.
Are you aware of it? Obviously, you are aware of it, but have you got some things in place to help you mentally? Because I think it is a real, not concern, but it is something that should be addressed.
I don't have anything in place. I'm actually meant to be flying back to work on the Monday, which it's only for a few days.
Well, distraction could be a good thing.
It could, yeah. Hopefully with a belt on the plane as well.
Hand luggage.
Yeah.
You should incorporate it into a strap onto
Yeah.
a bag or something.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
But then not long after the flight, I'm actually going to Kenya and Egypt.
Okay.
So that'll be a nice distraction.
Oh, so you've got something to look forward to.
Yeah. I think it'll be good to have some time off training. Maybe it will only be like a week or two, knowing my personality, but I'll definitely need. My body's copped it the past few months, so
Yeah. As long as there's something, because it is a real thing, and I know that it has obviously consumed your lives for the last couple of months, and some people have known about this since about April. So it's been 6 months where it is a focal point, and then once it's over, there is a massive come down afterwards.
yeah.
So I think that's why a lot of the guys get involved in the following PCR, because the next one is April 20, I believe,
yeah.
which doesn't, I mean, obviously it's 6-7 months away now, a bit more, but it's still not that far.
Oh, flyby.
They just keep coming.
Oh, the past 4 weeks in training camp have just flown by.
It is so quick.
Yeah.
Halfway there, almost halfway there. Halfway there.
Yeah.
You got a month and 2 days.
Jesus.
So in 1 month and 2 days, we're stepping out there. That's glorious, isn't it?
It's scary when you think about it
So
like that.
good.
I'm so excited but so nervous at the same time.
Also, I was going to ask you, just in relation to your life, are you happy with where you are in life right now?
Yeah, I'm happy.
You've done a lot.
I've done a lot, yeah. When I look back and reflect and see some of those photos, yeah, there's definitely a lot of proud moments in there. I think I've achieved a lot of things I've always set out to do. And yeah, I'll live a happy life. I've got nothing to really complain about. Like, I came from Africa. If I was still in Africa now, I don't think I would have had half the opportunities I've had. So I've definitely learnt a lot of gratitude in my life. And no, I'm in a very good place. I've got a good job. I've got a lot of good support around me.
Yeah.
There hasn't been times where it's always been easy, but that's what sort of makes you as a person, I guess.
Yeah.
It can't always be too easy because you don't appreciate the good times when you haven't had the hard times. So
Did you appreciate those times when you were having them with your travel?
yeah,
Did you really get to take it in?
I think I mostly do, but it's not until sometimes you walk away afterwards and you're like, wow, that moment was really special. Yeah.
Because you can't really build a moment up too much either in case it doesn't live up to its
Exactly.
expectations.
Sometimes it can be a fizzle. Sometimes you build up a moment and you're like, oh, shit.
How have you done that? Remember New Year's Eve party? Cannot wait. Massive
Yeah.
build up and you go, this is garbage.
Yeah, now I'd rather work on the New Year's.
Mate, whatever it is, I hope that with what you've got planned afterwards with your life, you've obviously done a hell of a lot. So you should be proud of where you are. And at 30, you've done more than most. So good on you.
Ah, cheers.
Good on you, mate.
Thank you.
We're going to finish off with a quiz.
Oh,
You did ask me to. Okay. I'm going to buzz. This is the only one I could find. This is a super hard world geography quiz.
Oh, God. There's not too many hard questions in there, is there?
I haven't seen it yet. Okay, let's have a look at this link. So you being the geography expert, I should have done flags, but I didn't do flags. I'm gonna do this quiz with you as well.
All right,
Okay.
let's do it.
I'm not going to put this up. I'm just going to read out the questions. Which country has the most lakes? The United States, Finland, Canada, or China?
It's got to be Canada.
Correct. Jesus. How the hell did you know that? Okay. Anyway, which continent has all 4 hemispheres?
Africa.
Correct. She's 2 from 2, mate. You were flying. Where is the longest international border? Argentina or Chile?
It's
China,
actually United States and Canada. I thought it would be Argentina, Chile, but it's United States and Canada.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah. Oh.
Correct. Jesus, you know. Which country has the most pyramids?
So believe it or not, it's actually not Egypt. It's not Mexico. I think it's Sudan. It's between Mexico and Sudan, but I think it's Sudan. Funnily enough, this is like...
I'll need the final answer.
Sudan. Oh, there you go.
Oh, my God. What are you, 4 from 4?
Yeah.
All right. What's the largest island in the world?
You'd think it would be Australia. Oh, it's not great.
Jesus.
It's not Great Britain. It's not Madagascar. It's not New Guinea. It's Greenland. Has to be.
Greenland.
Yeah.
Greenland's massive.
Yeah. There you go.
It is.
What's that? 5 from 5?
I think it's 6 from 6.
Oh, 6.
I heard this. Is this correct, right? That with Greenland and Iceland, they actually land... Is this about the naming of them?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
That they named Greenland... It should be named the other way around.
It should, really.
But they named it Greenland, trying to entice people to come across thinking it was like lush pastures.
Yeah, right.
Is that what you heard?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but it would make sense if they swapped them around.
Yeah, because Greenland is just
ice all year round.
Yeah, just
It's
barren land.
I don't think it's ever been green.
I think apparently the old Vikings and the Nordic called it Greenland, in the sense of trying to get people there across to settle there. Anyway,
Yeah.
I found that interesting. That's my geography knowledge. What is the smallest country in the world?
Vatican City. I'm not even going to waste time with that one.
Okay, I won't waste time there. That's also the only place with a 0 birth rate in the world.
Yeah, right.
Vatican City, apparently. I don't know. This one's tricky. Apparently it says, what is the longest mountain range on the planet? This is good. We got the Himalayas, the Great Dividing Range, the Mid-Ocean Ridge, or the how do you say that?
Apache? I don't know.
Appalachian Mountains?
I always thought it would be the Himalayas, but I have a feeling it's the ocean, so it would be the Mid-Ocean Ridge.
So your final answer, mate? Oh, you want to get this right, don't you? So bad.
It's got to be. I've got to lock it in.
I reckon the same. Mid-Ocean. Ready?
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Look at that. That's great. Any more? Point Nemo is the lonely place in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. If you are alone, where would you find the nearest people? I actually know this only because we were looking at where they're going to crash the International Space Station in 8 years.
Yeah.
Because my son wants to build a submarine to go down and pick it up. I said, you're delusional, mate. Anyway, I said, mate, that'd be just do your homework. Anyway.
I know it is the most desolated place in the world.
Yep. What do you reckon? If you're alone at Point Nemo, where is the nearest? Where would you find the nearest?
I think you've just given it away. It's the International Space Station.
I think that's up. No, that's where they're going to crash it. Point Nemo is in the middle of
if you're alone, where could you find?
It's right. I'm pretty sure I was going to say New Zealand, but then again, how high is the International Space Station? How high is that?
Oh God, I don't know.
Because I think it's about 700 k's to New Zealand. I think. Is the International Space Station 700 k's high? I don't even know.
No, it wouldn't be that high.
Might be the International Space Station.
It's got to be.
It's got to be international. Or
a trick question.
You reckon the space station?
Yeah.
Oh, we've done it.
1,600. So it's about 3,500 kilometres. So it's actually not that far.
No. Jeez. Mount Everest has the highest elevation above sea level, but what is the tallest mountain from the base to peak?
Oh, God. I have no idea.
It's a very hard question.
It can't be Mount Kilimanjaro. It's going to have to be a guess between the other three.
Which one are we going? We haven't had an A or a D lately.
I reckon we go A.
A? You are way too invested in this quiz, mate. You really want to get this right.
Yeah.
Manu Lao? We'll go with that one. Oh, so close. So close.
We've done well.
China used to be the most populated country, but in 2023, another country had the highest population.
It's India, 1.2 billion and 1.3 billion.
Correct. Jeez, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Which country straddles the Eurasia and North America tectonic plates? Jesus, which country straddles? This is just way too hard for me. I got no idea. I can't even read these words.
I'm going to say Iceland. I could be wrong, but
Iceland?
Yeah.
You've done well. Oh, Northern Lights. Did you take that photo?
I wish.
Okay, here we go. And finally, last one here. Purple is a rare colour of flags. How many nations feature purple in their official flag design?
God, I don't reckon it would be many. I can't even think of any flags that have purple. But I would say it would be like between 7 and 3. Surely not 15.
Which one? Come on.
I reckon 3.
I reckon 3. Ready?
Yeah. Oh, we've done it.
11 for 12.
That is a solid effort.
You are a certified geography expert. Congrats. Well done. Do I get a certificate for this?
Yeah.
Jesus. You've done well. You're actually really good at that. Flags is your specialty, is it?
Yeah.
All right. 3 hours 13. We have been gas bagging today, and you were worried you weren't going to go half an hour. Mate, we'll wrap it up. I want to thank you very much for coming in today. That chat was a lot longer, a lot easier than I thought it was going to be with all the messages that you've been sending. I thought you were a bit nervous. I want to thank you very much for coming in today, mate, and telling us all about your life prior to the PCR. Wish you all the best for the October 7 event. Tickets on sale this Friday. Hopefully I've got this edited and out by this Friday. Mate, afterwards, if before you head away to your trip, if you want to come back in here and tell us about the event, mate, maybe watch the video on the screen behind you.
Oh, definitely.
You're always welcome.
Cheers, bro.
I want to thank you for your time, mate, and I'll chat to you soon.
Thank you.
Yep.